What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller. GameOverGreggy himself. The crowd goes wild.
It's like the Super Bowl.
And that's that.
Alongside me, of course, is my partner in life. We call him, he only does everything, Colin Moriarty.
Go Jets.
Colin.
Go Jets. They are
Go
not in anything
Islanders
anymore. It's
Do
time
we
to
go
switch your
Islanders?
mind. Yeah.
Dude, the Islanders have won one game in the last 19 games.
Yeah, but that was a great game, though.
It was a really good game.
They were really good last year. What happened?
Don't know.
No?
Same team.
Just how it happens?
Oh, I gotta.
They lost
Yeah,
that
you got
magic?
thing right there.
What happened? What's going on?
I can't. I gotta get it like this.
That's perfect.
Is that
I feel
good?
like you talk to me a lot too, so that's good.
Well, I try to
Position.
talk to I like to lean towards where the most people are, but I feel like I
I
isolate.
thought
Tim.
you said you were going to close the door.
It's okay.
I'm not isolated.
I closed the door. Oh, he got the toy?
You didn't close the door at all. You left it wide open. And the dog
I felt that
comes.
was bad. It was closed. I didn't want to close it. You got me all.
Of course.
Can you?
This is Portillo the Wiener Dog. Everybody knows
Hi,
him.
Portillo.
Next to him, the producer, Nick Scarpino.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hey, how are
Thanks
you?
for watching.
Drinking. What are you drinking? What are you drinking on?
This is a diet root beer. Diet NW root
And?
beer. And a little something special.
Yeah, a little special juice.
They call it
we
the
call
bullet.
And
Not
then,
to
of
be confused with
course,
the silver bullet.
drinking his Mexican Coke as always, the pure one of the show,
Pure one.
Tim Geddes.
El cocaína.
Hashtag let Tim host. Hashtag perfect hair.
Perfect hair.
Hashtag way too straight posture.
Straight. I'm straight.
That's good. He doesn't have the
And
scoliosis.
I quote, Tim, everyone likes your posture. Yeah, I know. I'm way too straight.
He didn't say that.
He said that.
Something
like that.
All right.
Shuffling going on here.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. This is how the show goes. We're a laid-back podcast. If you've never run into us before, here's the deal. 4 best friends get together every Monday on YouTube, and they talk about 4 random topics. Each one brings one to the table, then they talk about it. Yucks and stuff ensue, and we talk about Tim Allen's drug problems. But if you want the show a little bit ahead of time, everybody else, we post it on Friday over on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com for $1. That's all we're asking for. You get it a whole weekend early. If you don't want to pay that, totally cool. Come watch it on YouTube. We like that too. We're in the comments talking to you about Tim's straight posture. It's a great time.
He's so straight.
So straight.
God damn it.
Can we start that?
Yeah.
Can that be your new
Tim's
Tim?
so
Hashtag
straight.
Tim is so straight.
That is the opposite of what the kids said in middle school.
So straight. So straight. Oh, he's so straight.
so straight.
So yeah, high quality MP3 over on Bandcamp 3 days early, then the video every Monday on YouTube at GameOverGreggy.com. And then if you want to buy a shirt like I'm wearing, a shirt like Colin will have made for him as soon as we hit our number, and then maybe a So Straight shirt. One that just says So Straight.
I want the Disney princess shirt first.
Either one. Both
Yeah.
are true.
Disney princess shit.
Did not mean to say that.
Who do you want? What Disney
You got a
princess
lot of
do you want to shit on
Disney
you the most?
princess fetishes, Tim.
I like things.
You got a lot of crazy fetishes.
You can go to
when it comes the business.
GameOverGreggy.com. We have a little merch link there, or you can go to GameOverGreggy.com/store. It'll direct you to our District Lines page. You can buy a shirt from us.
Yeah, it was
Have
cool.
some fun times.
There's pictures of us on it, too.
Yeah,
You
lots of
look,
things.
you look kind of good
Kinda-
in that picture.
Good?
Yeah.
It
I
looks
look a
kind of good
little
all the time.
weird.
That was my way of saying you look kind of weird.
Yeah.
I didn't want to insult you
It's
on
okay.
live television.
Things happen.
On live
Everyone's looking at it.
television.
But
As
We
Greg
could
does,
all be
there'll be
dead.
a picture right here. But there
I
won't be.
sometimes put it up.
Oh, really?
Last episode, we said we were going to click on your face for the merch store, and I did it. I made
Oh,
your
love
face
you.
clickable.
That's good.
I put it
That's
right
really
on your
good.
face. Click here for the merch.
One of my favorite things about this is when people tweet at us, and I'm like, I did not remember saying that.
No, see, that's the funnest. You're new.
weird.
You're new to the podcast
I am.
space.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a long time, a lifetime, some would say. And what I've noticed is people always do that. They tweet at you the things you said. You're like, I guess I said that. I do not. And granted, we're talking about we film in advance. We've last week we lifted the veil on that one a bit. But even when it's like I record on a Tuesday and somebody talks to me on a Wednesday, I don't remember what I said.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Fun story though. A week later, we have a new podcast set.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time. If
This
you're
is
watching
fun.
us on YouTube, we have a brand new set, new table, new chairs, new walls, new stuff all behind. Thanks to Nick Scarpino.
hey, no, thank everyone.
No, don't clap for yourself. That's rude.
Okay.
Nobody likes somebody who claps for themselves.
European.
It's European. I don't even know what
Is it
that
European?
means.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
People were mad at me on Conversation with Colin when I said Europeans have no tip culture.
It's
Is
true.
that not true?
No, apparently
100% true.
apparently it's not true. Even though every time
Well,
I've been to
I've
Europe,
only
I've been to Europe twice, but there was no tip culture.
I've been to Italy and,
Every
and
time.
Germany.
Every time. I've been
every
to
single
YouTube.
time I've ever
YouTube.
been to Europe.
Well, in Japan they get insulted if you try to tip. At
That's
least
true.
That's what I tell myself when I walk
No,
into
that's
the
true.
restaurant without paying.
That's true. Oh, you just didn't pay at all.
I don't pay in Japan. They're
They're-
too nice. They're not gonna.
No, they're not going to
anything.
say anything. Yeah, no, definitely not. No, it's true.
That's horrible.
When I was in, when I was in Japan, I never got accustomed to the you put the money on the tray,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you give them the tray,
Yeah.
like when you pay for something in a store, and they don't if you hand them the money, they'll take the money, put it on the tray, pick the tray up, and There's just a lot of things I have to get.
It's like when I got to Jamaica and I wasn't ready to put the lime in the coconut.
Oh man.
And drink it all up.
Damn.
That's the kind of humor you get on the Game Over Greggy
I like
show
that.
every
I like
week.
that. I feel like all places just have the same tipping procedure. Like in Texas, it was weird.
We're a
I didn't
little-
like
Why
that.
was it weird in Texas? I don't remember
Because we
this.
could just leave the things and walk away.
That's
I
how.
don't trust
That's
that.
cash. That's how cash works. Once you get your receipt and you know how much, you can
do
just
that
leave
anyway.
it.
You
You
do
do
that
that
anyway.
anyway.
The Texas people are nice. I
Yeah.
don't trust these.
Well, that was
They call them
Texas
Texans.
people.
the
the
Texas
Texas
people. We went to which barbecue place was that? I've already forgotten. It was the one out in
Silver
Salt
some-
Lake. It was
Salt
Salt Lake. We
Lake.
went to Salt Lake and we did all you can eat. And we landed, went there, booked a zip car, drove to Salt Lake. So we're tired. We don't know 100% what's going on. We get there. We eat. Like first off, the lady walked us to the table and sat us down, and Tim was blown away that she was able to say y'all like 9 times.
She said, I think it was 14. She said it like 14 times.
Yeah.
And it was impressive.
I like how 9 wasn't impressive.
No,
enough for you.
it wasn't. Like that'd be the normal.
How are y'all
thing.
doing? Y'all doing well?
It was
y'all
something- it
know
was
the menu?
exactly
All right,
like
y'all
that,
let
yeah.
me know when y'all want to order, right?
Yeah. But then at the end, we got our bill and we had cash, and I just laid it down. And Tim's like, "Will you just leave it
And we
there?"
just walked away.
And I'm
can do
like,
that
"Yeah."
anywhere
I'm
you
like, on top of it, that's just how cash works everywhere. I'm like, it's Texas. Nobody's gonna steal that money.
You can do that whatever you want, Tim. You can do that in a Cocos.
The Republic of Texas.
What I've done it before, where I leave the restaurant and they'll run me down. You didn't pay. I'll be like, I left the cash on the table, and they're like, "Oh no!" And they go in there, lock the restaurant, and they interrogate every one of them. But I'm
Yeah.
gone, and I just got
So
a
it's
free
all good.
meal.
Man, well, y'all
I
made
like
it out of
saying
there.
I like saying y'all. I say it all the time.
Yeah, but you say it in the hip hop way.
That's true.
Everyone in Texas now, they're like, "There's no hip hop way." I'm like, "There's a hip hop way."
What's the hip hop way of y'all?
It's just it's
What
the
up,
same
y'all?
thing.
What up, y'all?
That's how you do it. You got it. The hip hop is you got to put what up in front of it.
Y'all want to play video games?
No. What up, y'all? Want to play video games?
want to play Smash Brothers?
Adding a what up before it. That's
What up?
That makes it.
What up,
gangsta.
y'all?
Or like a hella after.
Hella.
That makes it
Y'all wanna
NorCal.
play video
That makes
games?
it
Hella.
NorCal.
I don't like Hella. That's too much for me.
Is hella?
You
Is
don't
hella,
like hella?
Is hella still a thing?
You're one of the people who
Hella will never not
you're,
be a
you
thing.
you are one of the the few people who didn't
disagree.
transplant here. Didn't,
Yeah, I guess
didn't
that's what
move
it
to
is.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
And like once in a while, I'll do something and I'll say something and I'll write hella or whatever, and they're like, "That's all you can tell. You're in NorCal." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I'll talk to you, and you use it in everyday conversation.
Yeah,
and Wing
all the
Wings has
time.
a sauce named after it. And it's like, "Oh, I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay."
What's
Right
the
now,
name
Jack in the
sauce?
Box has the
Hella hot.
jalapeno burger.
Jesus Christ,
That's like obviously
The
for me.
jalapeno burger.
It's good.
that's for you.
It's
Okay.
just for me.
Okay, I like that. I want to before we get in the topics. We were talking before when we're testing the mics. Colin said, "My nips are kind of hard," and then you started in with me and my friend were at Target, and I said, "Save it for the show," thinking you'd laugh and then continue to tell the story, but you stopped. So I'd like to hear where this was going.
Doesn't go to the best place. Could have been better.
What in Target made everyone's nips hard?
So we were at Target, and you know the people that work at Target.
Where are you
Not
going
judging
with this?
you,
Where are you
but-
going with this? There's a
You're
lot of people that work at Target.
You're
across
either
the
really
country.
cool.
mean
You're either the
Please
coolest
don't
dude
insult
ever.
anyone that works at Target or Walmart. There's so many people that work
Oh,
at
Walmart.
Walmart.
Those guys get pissed.
They get
I worked at
angry.
Walmart. So there
Did
you
you
go.
really?
I was a cashier at Walmart
Did
for a
you-
summer.
Oh,
I
how was
lied,
that for
saying
you?
I'd stay on after the summer.
And you didn't
Summer
do it.
came around. I was like, I quit. See ya.
like you-
I had to go play the ECW game for a year.
I feel like you bend
Month,
the truth to suit your needs.
I probably do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Don't
checking.
we all? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I
what-
meant a lot of things. So, but we were at Target. I'm not gonna lie
Tim,
about this
is
story
all
though.
this is all your episode so far. What other
the
things
pure
have you
one.
bent?
He's finally out of his
A lot of
shell,
things.
like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. No, so I was at this Target with my friend, and then the cashier had really hard nipples.
Yeah.
It was a male,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was just noticeable. And then as soon as we left, my friend was just like, "What would you have done if I just looked at him and said, 'Why are your nipples so hard, bro?'" And I laughed for a long time, and it just made me think. I don't know.
What
man.
would you have done?
I don't know. I would have been very uncomfortable. I wouldn't have liked
Why didn't
it.
you lick them?
They're not my cup of tea. Those
Okay.
weren't the nipples
Okay.
I'm looking for.
That was good. Well played. Well played.
Yeah.
on that one.
These are not the
I
nipples
think
you
your
were
friend
looking
should have done it. It's
I
not.
don't
It's
know.
not an embarrassing thing. I'm
That's
sure
pretty
he's just cold.
embarrassing.
Really?
It wasn't cold. That was the thing. It wasn't that cold.
Maybe he was cold. You get a chill. Sometimes you get a chill. When I get a chill, I got to poop. That's how it happens for me.
Really?
Yeah. If I get cold.
It's the call.
I gotta
Comfortable
poop.
sometimes.
What
You guys
happened?
comfortable?
Yeah, you don't like these chairs?
I'm just breaking in the chairs.
I feel
move
really
around
good.
a little
I
bit.
think
Are your
this-
nipples
this
hard,
table
Nick?
is a good.
My nipples never get hard.
Never?
No,
What?
very seldom do my nipples get hard. You can feel them. No, they're over here. There you go.
Really? That's like that's like a walleye.
The same friend, my same friend also has an uncanny ability to locate my nipples.
Nipples?
Whenever he wants.
You got
just goes-
weird nipple placement, by the
With
way.
all due respect,
What?
once you
I've
see
seen
a
you with
nipple,
the shirt off. You got weird nipple placement.
let's
You've
see
never
him.
seen
Let's
me with
see
my
him.
shirt
bad,
off.
but it's
See him.
not
No,
bad.
I have
See him.
two rules of video. I'll do anything. I will not kiss Alfredo, and I will not get shirtless.
Why?
I don't know. It's my thing.
You have a better body than me, and I'm shirtless all the time.
I'll
You
get
get pants.
bottomless.
You have a good
I'll get
body.
bottomless. I'll get
I've
bottomless.
seen you
You'll
shirtless.
show your dick.
You've never seen me shirtless.
We've been at bachelor parties in Vegas together. I've seen you
You've
shirtless.
not seen me shirtless.
Tim,
That's the
you
thing.
were in the pool with 5 18-year-old Asian girls on top of
Oh,
you.
so they're Asian.
Yeah, well, I'm putting that.
Why
out.
you gotta
just
put
a
that out
racist.
there?
I was gonna say 17, but I don't want the
Oh yeah.
Las Vegas Police Department to come knocking on your old
Is that
door.
how this works?
Y'all's
They
door.
come find y'all.
Y'all.
Hey,
Y'all
y'all.
come
I heard
knocking
you
on
hanging
y'all
out with
door.
some 17 Asian girls.
Yeah.
No, officer. It was
see,
17-year-old Asian.
That makes
oh,
it
sorry,
sound
my
hip hop,
bad.
and that doesn't even have a what up.
Y'all.
That sounds like James Franco, Spring Breakers.
Oh, that movie. It's so good.
I need to see it too.
It's
I
so
have it.
terrible. Depending on how you like your movies.
Okay.
I'm liking where this is going, but Greg,
Yeah.
let's
Time
choose
for a topic?
Let's
yeah.
get a topic.
Who wants to start this time? I started last time, I think.
I'll start.
I forget every time. Okay. Ooh.
It's not a very crazy topic, but it is one that I think about often. With the internet being where it's at,
Right.
and you got to always have logins, you always have to have usernames
Oh, I
and
hate
handles
it.
for everything, right? So I just finally, and you guys can berate me in 5 seconds, just started getting into Reddit. I know I'm about 5 years too late to this, 3 years too late to this. Tim said it was 17 years. I'm always 17 years too late to everything in Tim's mind.
Yeah.
Like I was like, have you heard of this Macklemore guy? And he's like, dude, hella crazy.
I've based my life
I was in Macklemore 10 years ago before he even went by the name of Macklemore. He was just Jimmy Bagooch.
Jimmy Bagooch.
Jimmy Bagooch.
Good old Jimmy Bagooch.
Crazy you remember that.
So I wanted to upvote something on Reddit. I wanted to log in, leave a comment, and I'm like, I don't have a login.
Was this on? This is on the Gone Wild board, I'm imagining.
It was the movies board.
Oh,
but
sure,
thank
okay.
you. And it brought me to impasse because Sean Finnegan said, do not under any circumstances use your real name. Don't have Nick Scarpino as your Reddit handle.
Yeah.
And I had prior to that I had signed on as Power Paisano, which is just a fun. It's something I go by when Marty McFly's taken.
So always.
So always. It brought up an interesting point. Do you guys? Is there a virtue? Is there a value in using your name for everything, or should you hide behind the anonymity?
Clearly, Sean Finnegan goes on Reddit and does the fucked up stuff when they're like ask a question like, "What's the worst thing you've ever done?" He's like, "I fucking killed a baby and punted its body into the
Killed a
stratosphere."
baby.
That is.
He can kick real hard.
That's
Sean
Finnegan in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I use the same names everywhere. GameOverGreggy if I can get it. You know what I mean? Which I usually can. Chill out. But I know I'm not going to go on there and post Gone Wild photos. Or if
Yeah.
I do, they're going to be fucking dynamite.
Tim, do you have any sites that you use?
I'm a big fan of Tim Geddes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
I like pushing that one hard.
Okay.
But see,
to
the
the
problem there though is because I like pushing it so hard.
Yeah.
When I'm in videos that I make, I'm very proud of those things, and I want to
Sure.
push them everywhere.
Sure. Uh-oh, where's he going?
He's getting kicked out because you couldn't
Can
lock
you-
a door.
Okay, hold on.
Why is he freaking out?
Because he wants the toy, but the toy's going to squeak.
Damn, he wants it bad.
Sorry. If Nick would have just left it where I told him to.
Stop hanging
on
the thing. I don't want
Keep going. Don't stop the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't stop the show.
I do not remember what I'm talking about.
You're a big fan of Tim Geddes.
I'm a big fan of Tim Geddes. Yeah.
Right.
So when I'm posting my videos, it's a little weird to Reddit at least to be like, "Hey, check out this video I was in." They don't like that.
They don't like that.
They don't like that at all.
So what do you do? Do you...
So I have.
Greg, you didn't shut the
I have
door.
another screen name.
He's locked
Karakakosh.
Okay. You have what?
Karakakosh.
Wait, whoa.
Gosh, guys.
My alter.
Why
ego.
are you giving away this name? Now
Eh,
you can't post things on Reddit.
I'm gonna post all the time, and they're not gonna know.
So was this prior to this conversation? Was that something that no one else knew?
People know. A couple people know.
A couple people in the know.
Karaka-
Those in the
and now up to
Karakakosh.
5,000
Karakakosh.
people on
So
the
the-
internet know.
So I only know that because one time when I made a screen name for AIM in 7th grade to talk to the
girls.
women,
Yeah.
the women
They were
of
little
7th
girls.
grade. I just hit the keyboard a lot. K-A-R-A-K-A-K-A-S-H-K
You're the worst person. You're the worst person.
was what I came up with. Karakakosh.
That's good.
Not bad.
There you
Someone
go.
right now immediately find the live journal and everything else attached to that username.
No, there is
put
a
it up.
MySpace though.
Yeah, there
and
is.
It's good. My MySpace username, no kidding, Tim Geddes is pretty much famous on the internet.
Well, I remember when I met you,
Yeah.
you were still using that for stuff.
Yeah.
You still had it like in your Twitter profile, I think
Tim,
maybe or something.
Maybe.
At what point
awesome.
did you decide in life
Awesome.
that your goal, your lifelong ambition would be to be famous on the internet?
As soon
'Cause
as
we've-
I realized what the internet was.
When do you
we've
think you're
talked
going to
about this.
achieve that goal?
It's going to take a while.
What now?
gonna
What?
take a long
Let me ask you
time.
this question: what does that look like in your mind?
I don't know. Greg. I think Greg.
You think, Greg?
Yeah.
So
Fat.
you're
Yeah.
Looks
If
fat.
I can get this,
You got to
I
take off
will-
your shirt.
yeah.
Heads up, I'm popular on the internet. I take off my shirt a lot. I ain't afraid.
sorry.
But I have Alfredo for that.
Then Alfredo's gonna be famous.
He
I
is.
feel like we're all just
See, the
players
problem
in
is
your
that
little
Alfredo's
game.
got the body and you got the brains.
Yeah.
And then like,
He's got the brains. You got the looks.
yeah. Wait, what?
Flip that. Let's make lots of money. It's that old 80s song.
What?
You know
I don't
that
remember
song.
that song. What?
I know where
No,
girls
it's
want.
you've got the looks, I've got the brains. Let's make lots of money.
Nope, never heard this
Oh,
song
you
before.
totally. I'm looking it up on Spotify.
All right, don't get us taken down.
No one's
they're
gonna take us
crazy
down.
with these YouTube strikes lately.
Oh, what
Well,
else?
Colin, what about you?
So I used to go by. I had like a bunch of like Mega Man related names when I was like really young. My first AIM name in like 1995 was Drax Curse, which was because you only. I don't know if you remember. You might be too young to remember that there was on AOL you can only have 10 characters.
Yep, I remember that.
Do you remember? Were you?
Yes.
Well, obviously.
Oh.
Well, Karakakash would.
That's a lot more than 10.
Yeah. So Drax Curse is Dracula's Curse is Castlevania 3. That's the subtitle of it.
Naturally.
So that was my name.
That was your name, Drax Curse?
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad STD you get
Yeah.
in like Mexico.
Oh, it sure does. And then when
Actually, you're like the UK.
in high school when I started writing for GameFAQs, I just wanted to see Moriarty, which was probably not a good idea.
My GameFAQs name is Karakakashka.
Is there?
Yes, it is.
What did you submit there?
A bunch of shit yelling at Seymour
I
already.
just bored. A lot of
Oh,
board
boards.
postings.
Oh yeah.
Posting my videos. Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And now I have no taxation.
Mm-hmm.
Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard this song.
Oh, yeah.
It's Pet Shop Boys, right?
Yeah, it's Pet
Yeah,
Shop Boys.
Colin nailed it.
See,
knocked
Colin,
it
you
out
knew
of the
it when I sang it. You just wanted the monkey to dance a little bit, didn't you? You just
Is that what
wanted
you
to
wanted?
see.
You want the monkey
You
to
just
dance,
want the
Colin?
monkey to
I love
dance.
Pet Shop Boys.
Who doesn't like Pet Shop Boys?
They're awesome.
GameFAQs is where I found Malcolmore. On the
How?
rap and hip hop boards.
There's
Okay.
a rap and hip-hop board.
GameFAQs.com, where I posted as Karakakashka.
I was a big frequenter of the NCAA football boards for GameFAQs. That's where
I
heard
loved
it.
I loved GameFAQs, man. That's how I started at IGN. That's how they found me. Is because I was a big fact writer there. But it was good. My dream when I was in high school was to be a moderator on GameFAQs. Never happened because I used to get banned all the time.
Nice. What
You
were you
getting
saying
banned.
that you're getting banned
Oh,
for?
just all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But like I was I think that they were somewhat lenient because like you lose your karma when you get
Yeah.
banned or whatever, and I hated that. I had my alt account was Rod Roddy.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And
You
I
got
used to go-
that?
and I- yeah, and then I used to go on my alt account. You know who Rod Roddy is?
No.
Oh, Tim.
God damn it, Tim.
Rod Roddy was the
Price is right.
the somewhat flamboyant announcer on The Price is Right, and he would wear like
Oh,
sequin.
Drew Carey?
No,
I hate you.
I'm joking.
oh, he died I think of colon cancer like maybe 10 years ago. But he used to wear like sequined like jackets. He had like a great TV voice.
Was he the guy at the end of the Jackass movies?
No,
No,
that's Rip
that's
Torn.
Rip Torn.
No.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
No, it's
Similar.
not. No. Rip Torn is the guy with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
deep voice
no,
from
no.
Men in Black. That was somebody else.
Rip
Van Winkle. Rip.
Taylor?
Yeah, we have the internet.
Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor. That
what
sounds
it
right.
is.
Whew, that
I
was
like that
close.
guy.
That's close.
I just watched Jackass the movie for the first time in a long time, maybe
Yeah.
10 years.
Holds up.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's
Yeah,
so
so-
really
those guys are
funny.
fun.
Chris
Those guys
Pontius,
are
man,
funny.
is the best. I love Chris Pontius.
No, he was great.
But
Chris
there's
Pontius, out of all of them. Chris Pontius?
yeah, I think he's the funniest because he's the most random. Like he's not.
He's
Steve-
a one-trick pony like Greg Miller. Just get naked and do something funny.
Yeah,
That's
but
all he does.
still-
No, he does other stuff.
But
This is
Steve,
animal
but,
stuff.
but Steve-O was like, Steve-O likes to hurt himself and do all these stupid and he's
Which
funny.
who was the
but-
guy that stapled his
Steve-O.
scrotum to his leg?
The butterfly trick.
Yeah, that was Steve-O.
Chris
that guy-
Pontius was all about
genius.
just being like silly.
Way
I like
before
that.
his time
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah.
I always liked Wee Man and Preston when they'd run around and do stuff.
Yeah.
Like when they did
That's a one-trick pony right there.
in Japan, they'd run
Yeah.
around and jump into each other. Yeah, they did other stuff.
Like what? Run around
Wee
in
Man
different countries?
has a taco
Did-
shop.
Did they make so much money that they just didn't need to do anything ever again, or did they just get out? Were they just not cool anymore?
No, a lot of those
No.
guys come from the Eastern Pennsylvania skate scene,
Yeah.
and like they. My brother was like really into skating for a long time. He's a lot older than me. He used to skate with some of those guys back in the day, like because he lived in Philadelphia, and that was like their hub. Those guys used to like skate at FDR, which was like a really popular park. Still is skate park in Philadelphia, and I think that they all just kind of made money with endorsements and Camp Kill Yourself and like all that kind
Yeah,
of
it
stuff.
was always like Jackass was kind of like their secondary thing. It just
Yeah.
opened them up to a wider
Interesting.
audience.
like Camp Kill Yourself was
What's Camp Kill Yourself?
like the CKY videos were like before Jackass and like
Yeah.
probably funnier and stupider and crazier.
Interesting.
CKY 2K.
You see them wear shirts all the time about it
Yeah.
on their stuff. I liked Bam a lot. I was always a big Bam fan too. I like that he screwed with his parents, but then later on you learn. I mean, maybe you didn't, but like if you once the internet got around, and you looked into it, like the house that he was always tearing apart and doing crazy shit to, and you're always like, what an asshole! I can't believe he owned the house. His parents just lived with him. It was like, oh,
No,
okay,
exactly.
then I totally don't care that he's like
Yeah.
turning it into a skate park and doing all these horrible things to his parents.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's taking care of his family.
My favorite era of Jackass was when Jackass was big, before Viva La Bam and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
When they started releasing just DVDs, where they're like, well, we can't do all this stuff on MTV, so let's just make DVDs.
Right.
And that's when they started doing crazy stuff, like smuggling drugs between countries by putting it in condoms and
I never saw these.
swallowing the condoms and shitting it out in like
Jesus.
different
Real
countries.
drugs?
Yeah. And they were just like, let's see if we can do it. And then they just did it all, and it's crazy.
That was like Jackass was and CKY and all that kind of stuff were products of the time. Like that was
Yeah.
that was really cool. Like from 96, 97 to 2003.
Colin, that's really all we
2004.
had in 96,
That's
97.
because we had the internet, but it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
And there was no video culture on the internet yet because we didn't have high speed.
Right.
And so
You'd go online to look at like the pictures of the women.
oh yeah,
and you click on them.
Line
and it would
by
say,
line, here comes a Kathy
That was-
Island
what is
photo.
it?
Can't wait to see it.
Oh, she's just in her jersey playing soccer.
Right.
That's
And,
not what I expected.
Like I remember, I remember the first video I ever downloaded on the internet was probably 1999. It was you download MPEGs.
Yeah.
And it was Conan O'Brien making fun of the people outside of episode 1. Do you guys
Yeah, I remember
do you
that
remember
video.
this?
I
like
remember that video.
like with Triumph.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And it was like the funniest thing ever.
Yes,
I had to
do remember
download
that.
it overnight. Started it like the night before. Went to school. Came back.
It was
and
like a
done.
job. It was a second
Yeah.
job downloading
Yeah,
this video.
like I remember downloading like Napster, created at Northeastern University. Go
Love
Huskies.
Napster.
Like you would download a song, it would take 30 or 40 minutes to download a song. Sometimes the song didn't work. You didn't know what the fuck
Right.
you were getting. I remember when I got high speed
Mm-hmm.
in 2002. I'll never forget it. It was September 2002. The first thing I went on was at that time it was a different program. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Napster because they shut that shit down. But I remember just going on,
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Yeah, maybe it was
Yeah,
LimeWire. And just
love
downloading
LimeWire.
like
No, Kazaa was before LimeWire.
it made
I
my
call it. I mean, I remember when I went to college and it was I had my laptop and I was like asking people at I think Best Buy or whatever, like this runs Ethernet. Like I was like I didn't even know what it was. Like
Yeah.
yes, that's the hole right there. I'm like great. Went there and plugged it in. Yeah, Napster was already shut down, but we used LimeWire and we downloaded everything.
I'll never forget that. Like just I couldn't fucking believe how quick the internet was.
Right.
I was like, this is amazing. Like just for downloading music and doing all that stupid shit, just loading websites quickly.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
unbelievable.
Real quick before we jump any further away from it, we're talking about Jackass. Do you remember Buzzkill? Buzzkill was the MTV show that was before Jackass, where they would dress in disguises and go fuck around. And do they pulled
No,
pranks.
I don't remember that at
They
all.
pulled pranks, but it wasn't like mean-spirited pranks, kind of like Jackass. Tends to be once in a while, or like most of the time.
So
but to their
it
friends.
was a predecessor to Ashton Kutcher's Punk.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put
Yeah.
it. But like this totally was one of those things that like you would never. This has never been seen before, kind of stuff, right? It was basically bloopers and practical jokes for kids, right? Or not kids, but like teens or whatever.
The people that used to watch MTV.
Right, exactly. And like they went to like I forget like what was the show Carson Daly did, and what was it before that?
TRL?
Yeah, but before TRL there was some other MTV live show where they did stuff like that, and they like did a thing where they worked for MTV kind of, right? Like MTV bought the show, but then like MTV would tell them where they were like doing productions, but not tell anyone there. And it was these guys' jobs to sneak in and see how far they could get. And one time they went to that and like delivered a cake like poolside, and then the cake exploded and they like threw things in a pool and ran away, and they'd like run from real security. Like it was real
That is
like
awesome.
secret agent shit. Yeah, it was awesome.
Sounds like what was that Comedy Central sort of Trigger Happy TV?
Right. Yeah, it was a little bit like that.
What,
It was
the
a
guy
little
with the
like
cell
that.
phone.
Hello.
Oh,
no, I'm at a
God.
kids play. It's rubbish. Awesome.
So good. That show was good.
I'm convinced that all these things are like the reason that YouTube exists, and like
Yeah,
that this
sure.
whole generation now of people doing things.
Well, I
like,
mean, you figure they all spiral back, from the Hidden Camera show. What am I thinking of? Candid Camera. You're on Candid Camera, right? Like,
jeez, Greg.
I'm serious though, right?
No,
Like
that's
people,
awesome.
it's a format that people love. People love to see stupid people doing stupid stuff or goofing
Yeah.
around.
And
having
now
fun.
it's
That's why they
John
watch
Quinones.
this.
no, but even
I'm
then, though,
John Quinones.
Like, that
What would
was a
happen if this
professional
baby
thing.
exploded in front of a bus? We'll find out tonight.
Isn't Dean Cain hosting one of those right now? What's
Probably.
he hosting
God
now?
bless him.
God bless Dean.
God, so I was over in the Scottsdale, Arizona area.
Oh, yeah, I know that
for
place.
Thanksgiving with my wife and my two sister-in-laws and my
If
mother-in-law.
you say Dean Cain came to your Thanksgiving dinner.
No, that would be amazing. He sort of did. Because apparently Dean Cain does every Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I knew that. Yeah.
And it's every year he does one, and they're always the almost exact same. But this year,
What was this
he
year?
found Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
But Santa Claus got hit by a
then he
car
killed him?
and everyone thought he was crazy, but it was actually the real Santa Claus.
Did he have to fill in for him? Was this just Santa Claus, a Tim Allen movie?
I'll be honest, I passed out about I passed out about 20 minutes into it, so I couldn't tell you how it ends. If anyone knows how that particular film ended, I'm sorry. That sucks for you guys.
It was like a Job of the Hutt almost. So we started here somehow with Reddit. And then the dog
Wait,
distracted
real
me.
quick. What were the first internet videos you guys downloaded?
I'll tell you the first video. I don't remember the first
It
one
was
I
probably- it was probably
downloaded.
pornography.
I don't remember the one downloading that made a big difference on me or a big impact on me. But I'll tell you the first time when my school got good internet, not Ethernet internet, but not that we had to dial up. I don't know what the in between there was. I think it's just cable, whatever. Enough. To
Oh,
where
that was like 128K.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like-
But I remember I went there and I went to IGN.com and I got to watch WrestleMania 2000 entrance videos, and they had the Jericho video up, and Jericho had just jumped to WWF. Like August 9th, 1999 changed my life. He had just jumped to
Holy
WWF,
shit.
and they were able to bring his character over, obviously, because they had the
Yeah.
WCW stuff. And I got to click on that and watch that, and I was like, holy shit, this is the internet future. Like, this
Yeah.
is like, this is insane that I can watch this video for this game and see everything that's happening.
Yeah, for me, I will never forget. I was looking through EGM and I
Yeah.
saw Final Fantasy X-2, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And they said there was a trailer, and I was like, "I need to see this." And I looked it up. It took 3 days to download,
Yeah.
and I hit play on it, and it was Final Fantasy X inspired porn.
No.
Wow.
And little
And it was
7th
even
grade
better?
Timmy,
You're like, wow.
first porn I'd ever seen.
That's it.
Was it
Disturbed
people?
or happy?
First and only?
Was it people or computers and stuff?
Huh?
Was it people or
It
computer?
was people. It was
Oh,
people
yeah.
It
dressed
wasn't like
as
tentacle porn?
Did you
dressed
like
as Riku and Kamari, which is a big blue cat thing.
Did you like it?
Naturally.
Oh yeah, it changed my life. That video changed my life, but I was a little upset. I wanted to see the
Sure.
trailer.
I think the first...
Well, the trailer probably was significantly shorter, so when you did find it, were you able to download it? Not 3 days?
I don't remember. I don't remember ever seeing that trailer.
I think the first...
By that point, I found porn, so I was looking for more porn.
Right.
Fuck
You're all
video
like, wait a
games,
minute.
man.
Yeah,
Where does everything
let's
go?
not go down that hole.
Was everything after that you just typed in the name of a game and then porn? And
No,
just to see what happened?
at that point,
Sex.
honestly, it was Kazaa. I typed in boobs,
Boobs.
and Heather Brooke came up, and Heather Brooke
Heather
will forever
Brooke.
be. I have nothing
I'll
appropriate to
Google
say
her.
after this. So
I'll Google her.
let's-
I'm on it right now. I don't know who she
You
is.
get on that. For me, I think the first video I remember trying to download that was not of an adult nature was, I think there was a clip or a trailer. I was huge into Robotech back in the day, and they announced a Robotech game, I think for the N64, which is Robotech Crystal Dreams. Do you guys remember this?
Nope. Robotech sucks.
No one does.
Robotech doesn't suck.
It was a Rare game, and I think Rare at the time had just made Killer Instinct, and I think they just folded, and I was heartbroken. But the clip I'm thinking of is just a Robotech fighter fighting a bunch of space crystals. That was it.
That's it.
That's it.
man.
I think this porn star looks familiar to me.
Also, Robotech does not suck.
So I mean,
There's not. I'm
She-
guessing this is her on top, right? No pun intended. That's her.
yeah.
And then like, who's this Heather Brooke? Why is she can't be happy? Is that her still? That's not her, is it?
No,
Okay.
just the top one. Just the top one.
Just the top.
She has her own website. It's her and her husband. They do their thing.
Heather Brooke. Oh, I know. Heather Brooke.
You
I
definitely
just
know
popped
her.
in my brain.
Everybody knows her. I don't want to say the
Yeah.
website
Say the name
name.
of the
Heather
website,
Brooke,
then.
iDeepthroat.com.
That's the
Yes,
Heather
that is-
Brooke.
Why are we
that
afraid
is
to
it.
say
That
the
is it.
internet? We're on the internet.
Everyone knows. The thing is, like, at what point will it
I
be?
have more likes than she does on Facebook. This is how
Well,
wrong the world
I'm
is.
sure she has more Facebooks.
She's more. Okay,
You know,
I see what you mean.
My-
she's so talented.
At what
She's
point?
so-
Here, let me ask you guys a question, because we're clearly beating around the bush with the things that we really want to talk about, because this is a safe show for the kids.
When did anyone beat around the bush about anything
What
except you
is
guys?
that?
And then
Click
I
on that
came in.
image.
That
What
is
does
a
that
hot
do?
air balloon that looks like a screwed up thong. It might really
It's
be
really
that.
impressive.
Yeah.
At what point do you think it's going to be just commonplace to talk about the wild things that you can find on the internet?
I think
Isn't
it's
it right
culture.
now?
It is already.
Is
we're
it?
just trying to pretend we're adults because the adults make me.
The
Heather
adults
Brooks.
make you?
That's not Heather Brooks.
No.
No. What are you looking at now?
I'm on her Facebook page.
I don't think they've done things for a long time.
No,
She's probably old now. Older.
I mean, she's probably in her 30s.
Well, no, I remember iDeepthroat from, I don't know.
Wow.
High school probably. Right?
That's the kind of thing that the first time you see something like that, you're like, I want all of my encounters with the opposite sex to be on that level.
You're
You're just
educated when you're in high
wrecked.
school.
You're wrecked.
When you're in high
For
school,
life.
you're educated by these things, and you think this is normal.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
So keep
not.
in mind that
it's
was
not.
the second thing I'd ever seen. First was Final Fantasy.
Porn.
And I was like, I can do better than that. Then I saw that, and I'm like, I'm never getting that.
Oh, God
No.
damn.
And then I was like, that's what everything should be. And then that's not what everything is.
No.
At all.
No.
What do you mean, in real life or on porn?
In real life.
Okay.
That's even for porn, that's a whole other level.
How much do you think porn has diminished your sex life over the years? What do you, Colin? That's a question for you.
It's just giving me more imagination.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a really positive way of looking at it. I think to me, I think that it's twisted my reality when it comes to that stuff. Because I think
So
I'm
what
the
does
only
that
one.
mean?
You just it's so there's so much of it out there, right?
Porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just engage with, and you're just like, I mean, you have a wife who is the same person every single time. Porn is out there. It's crazy. It's a hard thing to put your finger on.
Or in.
No, but I like.
Oh,
we'll go with Colin's stick. I think it does. It probably has
Oh,
made me a little bit more adventurous.
Gives you imagination and like ideas and. Well, I
But
mean,
see,
not even. I don't
but
really watch
okay,
porn
so
anymore,
actually, here's my main point.
when I was younger, it was.
I don't think my
awesome.
wife has watched nearly or at all any porn in her day, and so
In her day.
she doesn't have that imagination. She just has what's reality. Well, I have what's not reality, and it's it's meeting in the middle sometimes can be a little bit difficult.
Meet in the middle, Colin.
Oreo sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say that. That sounds
No?
good for your wife.
Okay. No, it wouldn't be.
Well, there you go. What was the question? Do we use Reddit?
Do we use...
No, it was your internet handle, wasn't it?
It is. So
Oh.
the end of that story was this. So I finally decided, I'm like, you know what, Nick Scarpino. I took a note out of Tim's book, page out of Tim's book, and I was like, I'm gonna just be Nick Scarpino everywhere I can go. Except for there's another Nick Scarpino out there. He's a perfectly nice guy, but he was smart enough to get all of the social media handles. So I was like, I'll just see if I can get it on Reddit. Of course, no, I can't. Then I thought, wait a minute, Nick, haven't you tried to get Nick Scarpino on Reddit before? And couldn't it be possible that maybe you already have it? So I hit the password reset, and boom, it showed up in my inbox.
Congratulations.
I've done that.
Thank
Where
you.
I'm like, I want to get GameOverGreggy. Oh, somebody's already taken it. I'm like, wait a second. Oh, wait, I have it.
I got it. I got it.
That's
I
so
wish
good.
that were the case for Twitter. Twitter's the one big screw up in my life. Everything else has been just golden.
That's the one screw up in your life.
Everything
is
else has
Twitter.
been pretty much perfect. I'm right where I want to be. This is the plan. I woke up and I was like, Nick, you're 6 years old. You should go work for a website you've never heard of before in San Francisco, a place you never thought you'd live. And now I'm here doing it.
Okay.
I had never heard of IGN before I started working there.
That's awesome. How'd you
Isn't
find
that
out about
crazy?
it?
My buddy Ryan worked at GameSpy.
Oh, okay.
GameSpy was purchased by IGN.
2004.
Back-end technology, right?
I was
GameSpy
an
was down
intern.
in Costa Mesa. I used to live in Irvine, and my buddy Ryan was like, "Dude, check out my office." And they had the alien statue, and I was like, "This place looks awesome," but I wasn't a huge gamer.
We're like,
And
don't
he was
worry.
like, he's
Video
like,
team doesn't need to know anything about it.
well, no, he was like, they're looking for people who have professional experience with video. You don't have to necessarily be a huge gamer. And of course, I came, interviewed with Fran. He called me back 9 months later. Was like, you got the job because someone else couldn't take it. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I was like, I'm only going to go up to San Francisco for 2 years. And it's been 8 long years. Lovely years, though.
Yeah.
And now you got a YouTube show.
Now I got this awesome YouTube show. Thanks for watching.
You got
Subscribe.
Tim,
If you
too?
swallow that loud
me.
again, by
Subscribe.
the way, I'm gonna fucking lose it. You
That was
didn't
loud?
do. Yeah, that was loud. It was bad.
You sure it wasn't the ice jingle?
No, it's a little different sound in the
You
jingle.
sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. There's no
Colin
reason to swallow anything.
Does
that loud.
not, if I remember correctly from a conversation with Colin, not sure when we posted that one, does not like the
A
loud
long
swallowing.
time ago.
No chewing. I don't want to hear any of your noises.
Do you?
I know for a
is it
fact
the
I don't
sound?
chew loud. I know for a fact I don't drink loud. I don't want to hear your shit. You don't have to hear mine. That's it.
Do you?
That's
What
the
about
rule.
the lip smacking?
No. Oh God, I just want to knock someone out when that happens, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can't.
Is it because
There are people I won't eat with. I won't name
Really?
any names, but there are people I will not eat with because of
True story. I will not see a movie with Alex Solomita anymore.
I sat next to him on the one side. You
Right.
sat on the other. It was fine. You are
Won't do
making a
it.
big deal about nothing.
Won't do it. Love him. At
My-
Bittered Mets, bro. Won't see it
My
with-
Twitter, my first AIM name, of course. Who's my favorite superhero?
Superman.
Superboy. Close. So my first.
Superboy
my-
is your favorite superhero.
Yeah, Connell. Come on. He was a kid. I was a kid. It all made sense at the time.
It did, yeah.
Don't mess with these.
Nothing about Superman makes sense.
Superboy.
Nothing
This
about
made-
any of that shit makes any sense.
He's half the DNA of Lex and Superman. It makes perfect sense. Anyway,
Lex and Superman had sex?
No, they just had their DNA swapped in by Cadmus.
What?
They made this guy.
By Katniss?
Did you see the
It's a
the
Hunger
Hunger
Games crossover.
side note? Did you see Young Justice? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched Young Justice.
What'd
I
you
love
think of
Young
that?
Justice.
Yeah?
Young Justice is awesome. It
It's
should have
really
got
good.
canceled. Nolan North or Superboy.
Why does everything get canceled? That's good.
Jericho?
Like Spectacular Spider-Man.
I'll
The
bring
best
up Jericho
Spider-Man
whenever
show
I
to
can.
ever exist.
They made I think season 2 or 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man is now on Netflix. I just want you to know that.
I hate everything
I'll probably
about
go home
that.
and watch that tonight while I eat reduced fat string cheese. Because I
I'm
thought
gonna
it was
cry
something
about
good.
That's what you do now?
That's what I've always done.
Superboy 09 was my first handle on
Superboy
AIM.
09.
Yeah.
That's 10. That's
Because I think I went Superboy taken, Superboy 01 taken. So, I went up and I got to 9.
Yeah.
Then I decided on a whim one day. I was like, I want to do something different. So this is bad. This is bad. Everybody.
What'd you do?
I got some variation of the handle Dude Love, which of course is a wrestler, Nick Foley's
Mick
Dude
Foley.
Love.
Yeah.
But when I did it, I decided and told
You put a 69 on it?
no, told my friends that I would only communicate from this AIM dress like Dude Love talked. Because Dude Love's all like, yeah, daddy, oh, blah, blah. I was like role playing this thing, and my friends were like, that is the dumbest thing you've ever done. And so I stuck it out for like a month, and I was like, oh.
That's
awesome.
embarrassing.
But I had already deleted the Superboy 09, so I had to make a different Superboy account. It sucked.
Back on AOL, do you remember like in the mid '90s? Do you remember?
Keywords.
Yeah. Well, yeah, keywords. I even when you watch Double Dare or something like that on Nick Gas, which doesn't exist anymore, it'd be like keyword Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I remember that's what I thought the internet was. Like, I'd go into AOL and I'd Google.
But now we're back at
Google.
keywords.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would go in and keyword like search
You would go to Alta
porn,
Vista.
something like AOL wouldn't have.
You
Obviously.
go to InfoSeek.
Was it the AOL chat rooms? Those are where you'd go,
yeah?
right?
Oh,
That's
You
what I was
had
gonna
the
say.
chat rooms.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. You say I'd go to like the super inappropriate chat
Yep.
rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
Every time.
Pretend you're like a 30-year-old.
Have I ever
woman
told
or
you this
something like
story of me and my friends doing this?
that. I think so. But tell it again.
We had the lazy. Did you hear this? Did I tell this on the
No,
show
but
already?
I can't wait for this story.
So me and my dumb 13-year-old friends, there's like, I don't even know, 4 of us at the house, 5 of us at the house. We go into one of these rooms, and it's some terrible, like, I forget what the name of the thing was or whatever. And like the first line, I'll never forget because we printed them off. We
Yes,
printed
of
them off
course.
on my mom's laser printer to keep track of them all. But we went in there, and like the first thing was a comment from a guy who goes, "North Carolina Pussy Patrol, spread them," and it's just people going back and forth. And so when you finally would,
What?
you'd find somebody.
What does that mean?
Well, he wanted them to get. Like, he's talking to the girls.
There was
Like,
no
spread your
okay.
legs.
But everyone knew that there were actually like 0 girls in that chat room.
Not when you were. No, I'm sure everybody was 15 and stupid like we were,
Okay.
or 13 like we were. So, anyways, we find a girl.
Wait.
Who's talking to us?
Have you ever actually impersonated a woman in one of these chat rooms?
What?
Has anyone?
No.
Yeah, I have.
Damn.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
When I was like,
I don't
10
understand.
or 11, yeah.
You do it all the time. Is what you're saying? You still do it to this day?
Yeah.
Damn. We got to look that up later. I want to see what? Karaka. What is it?
Karakakosh.
Karakakash.
Anyway, so then
Sounds so
we
racist.
broke off into a private chat with this girl, and she was saying that she was with her boyfriend, and she was naked, and they were both naked, and she was on top of his lap,
Right.
and she was asking us all these questions, she in quotes or whatever, to all these boys, and I'll never forget that the question she asked was like, well, how big's your dick? And me and the other guys all looked around, we're like,
Ruler.
how big is an adult dick? Like none of us knew like what an appropriate size was, and so what we came up was it requires a yardstick. And then eventually we got tired and
Clever.
told her we were a bunch of boys, and she flipped out.
There was a time in my life when I for some reason I would start different handles. I would have different names, and every single one of those was some sort of iteration of a penis. So for one, I think I had hung like a bear. That was one of them. Foot long dong, I think was another one. And I don't know why. All of my friends were like, why do you keep doing this? I'm like, I personally just think this is really funny. But no one else thought it was funny. Until you guys just validated that
I think it's
right
really
now.
funny.
15 years later.
Yeah.
Maybe even
Foot
more.
long dong.
Maybe 20 years later.
20 years later.
You're on Usenet.
Oh man.
All right, that's a good topic.
Tim.
No, it's good. You
First
you
website I ever
you-
went to was AOL keyword Nickelodeon. I enjoyed it. It was
No
at
way.
my uncle's house.
Watching Space Quest.
God, do you guys
Hey,
realize
Arnold.
how crazy it is to say that we lived in a time when
Space
there was
cases.
no Google?
That's what it was.
Yeah. We lived in a time when there was no internet.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you heard about
I
Google?
don't think I did.
I thought it was stupid. I was like, that's the stupidest name I've
Dumb
ever heard in
name.
my
I
entire
remember
life.
my teacher, Mr. Craver.
Yahoo. Dumb.
Terrible dude. Nice guy, it turned out in the end, but one of those teachers who was like really mean. You're like, but he turned out to be nice later on when you weren't. He wasn't your teacher. But in like whatever dumb remedial computer class we were taking to learn how to frickin' do like 2 spaces in between letters, he brought up the fact, we were all using I don't even Ask Jeeves or something stupid like that. And he's like, no, there's this new thing called Google. I'm like, what? And you go to this like it looks like a broke ass site, right? Because the page is just white.
Yeah.
It just has Google spelled out, and then like you do the search results, and there's a million O's. You're like, this is dumb. Look it up now. Made $1 million. We're
Taking
on them
over
right
the
now.
world.
They're taking a cut
Yeah.
of this right now.
Yeah, they're making
They had the
billions.
final laugh. Mr. Craver's dead.
Google's an extraordinary company. Scary. Next.
All right.
Tim.
You want to go?
Oh, you wanna
Tim's
go?
going? Tim's
Colin,
going.
you want to go?
No, I like Nick calling the shots. Tim's going.
No, Tim, no, you-
Let's go. What
Laugh
is
it.
what is art?
What is art?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
It's
dear.
hard to define it, but I know it when I see it.
Okay, or hear it,
Sure.
or taste it.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I
A
just
cake. If we're saying food's art, which it is,
Yeah.
games are art.
Games are art. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
absolutely. Games are definitely art.
I know. I don't give me the cross-eyed Colin look. They're getting mad at me.
I think there's art that's totally fucking terrible out there. I think that there's art when you go to especially a modern art museum, just fucking terrible shit. in there.
Here's a white
But I wouldn't-
canvas with one black spot.
Yeah, but I wouldn't dispute that it was.
So what
wasn't
is
art.
not art then? Maybe that's. The
I would
better
say,
question.
I mean, for me, art is anything that evokes an emotion, right? That I think isn't the definition of art. Isn't that what art's
I don't
supposed
think
to
there
do?
is a definition.
There's gotta be a.
Let's look it up on
While
the
he looks it up.
dictionary.com.
I'm gonna go under the table and get more ice. Anybody need anything while I'm out there?
Cheez-Its would be lovely. No,
No,
so
you're not
much
gonna
crunching.
eat on the freaking show.
Yeah, I can't eat on the show. This is our
No.
show. We make the rules.
I
I'm
guess so.
doing lap times on my iPhone to do the old
Okay.
markers.
It sounds like the old adult juice is going to your head there. Huh?
FYI, I started like 5-6 minutes late. I
I
have
don't
no
care.
idea when these are.
If you,
It
the,
doesn't
kids,
matter.
the kids at home have noticed that I keep asking them for times for things in the own show.
You
We
gotta
just got a
crowdsource,
set.
man. You got to crowdsource.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look up compass real quick since you have speakers.
The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as a painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power.
There you go.
Now look up
There it
compass.
is.
The various branches of creative activity such as
Now,
painting, music,
now
literature, and
Google
dance.
is the movie Armageddon art, and see what happens.
Hold on.
Because to me it is.
Compass.
He said
No, he
compass.
says
He said compass.
He said
Don't
it.
even argue with the computer.
He said it with a U, a hard U sound. Do it again.
You don't even know the speakers
Why won't you work?
because he said it once. He knows it's right.
He doesn't need to reiterate.
How great would it be if he clicked it again and just go, "Did I stutter?"
What, are you deaf?
said
Are you
compass,
deaf?
motherfucker. All right. Anyways, art.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not one of these squares, as they get called a lot in the popular media, that goes around waving my finger saying something is or isn't art. I think it's pretty clear. Like, I think creators are creating art, right? Like, what are you creating if you're not creating something that's different? Is this art? I don't know. Is this art? Is okay, Colin. Is this art? I say, as Colin does the pronunciation of poop.
No,
This
I'm
is
gonna
not
go,
art.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is absolutely not art. This is not art.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, is it?
I mean, it has artistic qualities to it, right? We've got
Yeah.
a set. That's
We're just-
fun.
we're just sitting
decent
around.
lighting.
Like, if anything, you figure the closest we've come to art would probably be like Horribly Wrong Comic Book Origins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that had a really
this channel?
produced
The conversation
intro.
with Colin is art.
Is it?
There are some artful moments. There's soulful
Sure,
moments in
sure.
conversations, Colin. When you guys had a discussion recently about which Batman film was
Yeah,
better,
exactly.
and Colin immediately
The
went
best
into his
impression of
Bane
it.
impression. Which Colin, can you just give me a little flavor of
Give
that?
us a couple lines.
Yes, the fire rises.
Very painful for you. Half mentally disabled villain fighting him.
What's amazing about that is that was by the way the worst. That was the hardest thing not to laugh at because he was just messing with you the
I
entire
know.
time. You know he's messing with you.
I know.
You know he's just trying to get
It's
under
working.
your skin, and it works nonetheless.
But he believes in his heart of hearts that it's a good movie.
I don't think he does. I
does.
think he's
He
just gonna
does.
take that
He
with him
does.
to his grave.
Why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
So bad.
It's so good, Greg. It's so good.
Everything
don't
else,
understand.
Everything else is muffled in the entire movie. In the planes, what? How would anyone hear him? Is it projecting out of that? I hate this movie. We do have to watch them all again.
We gotta go back.
We gotta go back.
We gotta go back.
Gotta go back.
Hold on, Greg.
Bring it
Are we
down.
doing another one?
Yeah, he's doing more
Let me hear
stuff here
one
for me.
We got to find out what he told you about crashing this plane.
Do you think that was Tom Hardy made that decision to do that voice, or do you think that was a collaboration between?
I think
all
that
of
was
them?
not his idea.
You don't think so?
No, and I think it was a brilliant idea. I think it makes it unsettling and
It
weird.
was unsettling. Weird.
It makes Bane the best villain in any of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
You think so?
Bane, Scarecrow, Joker. In that
You
order.
put Joker last.
Yes.
Is that just to piss Greg off?
Well, first off, last. What are you talking about? There's a million other villains.
Those are the primary villains, though. Well, except I guess in the first one there's
Ra's al
Raz,
Ghul.
yeah. But yeah, Ra's al Ghul.
Technically, I think Catwoman
She's in
is
the.
a
That's the
villain.
woman.
No,
What's the chick?
That's Talia.
Talia.
Talia. Okay.
They're not related.
They are. That's his
Okay.
daughter.
Oh,
That's his
right,
daughter.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
really
Scare-
big Dark Knight Rises.
But
fan over here.
Scarecrow is the main villain in the first one.
Right.
Yeah, and then Joker is the main villain in the second one, and then Bane is the main villain in the third one.
I think just complicated plot, nonsensical script.
I think
those are the
I think
villains.
getting to the
those are
end-
the villains of
I think
Dark
just
Knight
just
Rises.
getting to
Rises
the
a
end of
lot.
I
Shut
liked
up.
it too.
You suck. You guys are.
It was a great movie. It was the best one.
You'll all watch it again, and you'll see how wrong you were.
I think that the second one is way better. I think the first one's way better, but I think it's good.
So Tim, just to clarify, you think it goes
I
2, 1, 3.
Wait, 2.
The
If
Dark
2
Knight
is a-
Rises.
oh, okay. I thought we were talking about something else.
We're not talking about Fast and Furious because you told me, Nick, under no circumstances should you rank Fast and Furious anymore. Even though it's changed, now it goes 5, 6. No, 5, 1, 6, 3,
You almost had it. You almost had
4,
it.
2.
5.
2 is the worst. Oh, yeah.
Two is
I
the
keep thinking.
worst.
I keep thinking
3.
Tokyo Drift is 2. I'm sorry. We hungry.
What?
It's Tyrese.
Almost steal
Oh, it's
your.
the-
What did
Tyrese.
he do? He did he stole someone's
Bread.
no,
He had a ball of bread.
I don't think
It's like Aladdin.
he stole the guy's cigar clipper for no reason. It was the stupidest plot complication
I know,
any movie ever made.
He's just a thief. It's actually the second a chance.
This
that-
guy just killed someone in front of you. You're just steal his fucking cigar clipper. Doesn't make any
And then, as
sense.
we know, when we rated the Star Wars movies on a previous episode of
We
the
did.
Game Over Greggy show,
Yeah.
5, 6, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Nope. You got the
That one's that's well-worn territory.
No, we're not going to go into
This
that.
is all well-worn territory. the
3, 1, 2.
point is that just to put a bow on the Batman trilogy.
Sure.
Bane is the best villain in the Batman movies.
But why?
Now, are
The
you
Dark Knight
are you
Rises.
really
is-
saying that? Are
I,
you really
I
saying that?
absolutely am dead serious
You're
about that. That
100%
opening
cross
scene.
your heart.
That opening scene is awesome on the plane, and it's a good intro. That is a great scene, and it's a great introduction to the character, and it's how fucked up he is, and I like the whole capturing of the zeitgeist. That's the second time I used that word today.
That's a good word.
Capturing the zeitgeist in the movie of the whole Occupy Wall Street thing, which is definitely the influence for the story. So it seemed like a timely. It seemed like a timely pursuit of what was going on in politics at the time, and Bane being the harbinger of that kind of crazy anarchy mentality as well.
But the opening of
Gotcha.
with the Joker, I think is even cooler.
Yeah.
That opening scene was fucking awesome.
Because it's a better movie and he's a
Not
better
as
villain.
good.
Mostly
Better
because of
character.
William Fichtner.
Everyone
Who wants to
remembers.
see a magic trick? I
Then
can't.
you
I don't
shut
do
up.
it.
Everyone cares about that. I'm sorry, but everyone cares
know,
about
you
that
keep
movie
saying this is
because
not true.
because he's dead. It's just like why everyone thinks JFK is a good president.
I didn't even know he was dead.
What?
I didn't.
Didn't he die before the movie came out?
Yeah. That was
So,
like a
like-
definitive day. I remember of you talk about like moments, like stupid pop culture moments you remember forever. It was we were at IGN and it spread like a wave because we weren't on Twitter. I forget where that all spread from, but it was like
MySpace.
no, it wasn't even a social.
Friendster.
It wasn't even a
Friendster.
social network. It was like somebody
Zynga.
seeing it somewhere else, and it was just like row by row. People were like, oh my god, you know what I mean? And then everybody like selfishly was like, is the movie done? Like, what
So
does this
that-
mean for
that
the
was-
movie?
That's what
recently
happened with Paul
with
Walker.
us,
Paul Walker, yeah.
Which, by the way, I apologize to everyone. Yes, we did in fact film the Game Over Greggy Show episode 2 before Paul Walker died.
Was
So-
anyone offended by that?
No, no one was offended by it, but a couple people asked me on Twitter, "Did you
Ah.
guys film that before?"
Ah.
Because we had mentioned, I think we had started.
We
talking
did the
about Fast and
ranking thing
Furious.
already.
We were super excited for number 7, and then voila, we posted that 3 weeks later after Paul Walker's
Yeah,
death.
that was for sure. But that was another one where it's just how different times are now, right? Because I was in Japan, found out about it on Twitter, tweeted about it, and then was greeted to 100 people tweeting back at me, "It's fake," blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and linking to this thing. And I'm like, this is like from 3 months ago. This isn't the same. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And then being in arguments with people if it was fake or not. It's like whatever. I'm going back to being in Japan. I don't care this much.
Tim, how did you feel when you found out the news?
It
We
was
were
bad.
texting back and forth.
No, honestly, like we had a group text going on of
Yeah.
like all the people that really care about.
I mean, it's one of those
So.
things. Yeah, for the record, like I think now and don't get me wrong, it's a great thing that everybody talks about how much they love Fast and the Furious. You two motherfuckers were down with Fast and the Furious more than anyone I'd ever known.
Yeah, and it's not even just us two. Like
We found some common ground on that one.
yeah, like our whole video team and I.
Yeah, The Office. I mean,
everybody's
yeah.
so into it, and it's just like it's crazy now because like I feel weird talking about it now because I don't know, it's weird.
It's almost like no matter what they do, it's done. You can't recover from that, right?
You don't think so?
I mean, you can, I guess, but
I would.
it's never
I
gonna be
mean,
the
I would
same.
think in 7 you're just gonna
It
have
lost
it
a little
where
bit, it's
he
hard.
died off screen, like the character of Brian, right?
Yeah,
It'll just be a call from his.
I think
there's
you
a
just-
lot of things they can do with that. Like,
I think you just leave it alone. I think you just don't make any mention to it. You write out Jordana Brewster, the kid. They're all gone. You make a couple references to it, and you move on.
See, I thought a lot about this, and what I want,
Here we
this is
go.
corny. This
No,
is
this is what
bad.
I want.
But what I really want from that is because the storyline in 7 so far, all we've heard is we have Statham hunting down people.
Right.
He already got Han. He got, like, if you see the scene.
Spoilers.
Just
Sorry.
go. It's over.
Han dies.
Yeah, first scene from 7
And 3.
that we've seen is The Rock is in the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like he's hunting them down.
Right.
That's an easy way out. Like, you
Yeah.
can just say, like, they get a phone call and they're like, he
Thank
got
you.
Brian,
See,
something like that.
That's the exact way I would think you do it. Either you open the movie with it, because it would make the most sense to do it right off the bat, right? But Vin Diesel gets woken up by a phone call, and he answers his phone, and it's Jordana Brewster being like, they got Brian. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
See, I still feel that might be a little too disrespectful, and it sucks that they
I think
need
it's
to,
too.
like,
I think it's too much. I think you just
How is
don't.
it too disrespectful? I don't agree with that
You
at
just
all.
don't-
Paul Walker loved the franchise, clearly,
But
right?
See, what I want is at the end of the movie for there to just be a scene where that happens and they kill him off and stuff, and he needs to stay out. But at the very end, there's a mid-credit scene of like his car pulling up to Jordana Brewster's place, and you just hear her say something really corny like
Brian,
"Daddy's
back."
home" or
Okay.
something like that, and it's just
That's
like,
the end of the franchise? I like that. That'd be
and
cool.
it explains just like that, he knew he needed to be there for his team, but like he had to like fake his death or whatever with Statham.
See, I think you just leave it alone. And here's why. In the 90s, there was a movie called The Crow. Are you familiar with this movie?
Yeah.
During filming, Brandon Lee was Bruce Lee's son died. He got shot. It was a blank.
A
It was
blank.
Crazy,
That's the
crazy
one crazy,
accident.
yeah.
It was horrible. Well before his prime. I mean, the guy had a phenomenal career ahead of him. He was awesome. He looked great on camera. He can move. And they...
Sorry.
You can go. Go ahead. He did
Nick
Showdown in Little Tokyo. It was
Nick
amazing. I hit with all
Scarpino's
100.
bullet points for being great, right? Great looking on camera, can move. You're going to have a phenomenal career in this business, man.
Move. And it was sad, right? I was looking forward to it because in the 90s I had nothing. I just had movies. That was it. I had a pretty okay family, but for the most part, my entire social life revolved around going to the local movie theater in Canyon Crest, Riverside, and just seeing a movie and then going home and then, digesting that movie. So I was excited for The Crow. He dies midway, and they did some digital enhancements of his face. They had stand-ins, and they were able to finish the movie, which I thought was really, really, really cool. They can't do that with 7. They have to go back to
They
the
have a
drawing
cast
board, right?
of carriers. Or
That's what I'm saying.
Characters.
Let's,
I mean,
let's
there's-
just write them out. Don't kill him, because you can't show the death. It won't be poignant. It'll be cheap.
That's
But
what
I
I'm saying.
feel like-
Do it off camera.
I don't give a flying fuck about this series, but I feel like this kind of thing could, if done properly, could evoke good emotion, real emotion from
Potentially.
the actors. Like if Vin Diesel were to get that call, and that might elicit real tears, real feelings that can make the movie really poignant and actually better than.
It's just from a story perspective. It's so depressing because that character.
Buying an ice bucket for the table, so I never have to get up again.
Look at you. You are actually physically buying an ice bucket on Amazon.com right now.
Physically doing it, everybody.
Physically buying
I have a
it.
great future in movies.
Wait,
Maybe
hold on.
not.
These
Hold on,
moves are
everybody.
I don't look
Let me
good on
see.
camera, but I'm
you look
moving.
okay on camera. Let me see your hands. No, you can't move. You move for shit. You move like a clog. Just clumping around. Moving my duck shoes. True story. Did you know that clogs are actually still in existence? My wife, who is Dutch, still has a pair of clogs. Do you know this? This is a thing.
I don't know what any of that means.
A clog is a wooden shoe.
I don't know what any of that means, Tim.
They still wear these.
Birkenstocks.
Coming back. Did you have a pair of Birkenstocks?
No,
when
I
you were a
certainly
kid?
didn't. But
I
my
had,
sister was
5
like
pairs.
a Lollapalooza kid. So she would.
She go to Woodstock 99?
Did
No,
go to
she was
Burning
too old
Man?
for Woodstock 99. She was at Woodstock 94 though, I think, right? That was a 94.
Oh, was there? I'm sorry.
Wait,
that-
how old is
that's-
your sister? Older.
She's gonna get pissed.
37?
37. Okay, she's older.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
My sisters are 37 and 34. My brother's
yeah.
40.
Oh, I didn't know you had that many siblings. That's crazy. So you are the baby.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. My brother just turned 40. Unbelievable.
That's insane. My brother's close to 40 now. He's getting up
It
there.
didn't make any sense. I remember my brother was awesome. My brother's an awesome guy, but when we were kids, like he was so much older than me that it was like so cool.
Yeah.
Like he would like buy me cool shit. I have this one recollection of us. There was like a tree fell in our backyard on Long Island, and he bought me like a fake samurai sword, and he had one, and then we would just go beat the shit out of the tree in the backyard, and pretend it was a dragon from Dragon Warrior. and now he's like a 40-year-old man. So that's kind of just a little weird to me. But I digress.
Digress.
I kind of heard that too.
Hate you guys.
Yes. Crashing this plane.
The worst.
It's not that you do a good impression.
No, I
it's
don't.
the look on your face when you do it. And I'm sorry for everyone that's actually listening to this
Bandcamp,
podcast
thanks for
on
your dollar.
Bandcamp. Thank you for the donation. But Colin's face is really priceless. Priceless when he does
It's
it.
a good face.
The fire.
Priceless for you.
For you. Oh my God.
The fire rises.
So we never got to the bottom of what art is.
I think we did.
Did we?
I think
Alright.
we
Colin
broached
Moriarty's
it.
Bane impression.
Colin's the
That
definition.
is art. That's audio art. That's audible art.
Okay. Colin, I'll let you close out the show, so I'll go next here for topics. Lap me, Nick Scarpino.
Stand by.
Standing by. I don't know if you guys caught this. Biggest Mega Millions in like a Mega Million years
yes,
went off.
yes.
One woman, it's split between two people, right? So this Georgia woman took her half, which is going to be 120. She took the cash payout. This, of course, the pot was $648 million.
Man.
She won half of it. She said two people won. She won it. Georgia woman, $120 million.
After taxes?
Yeah, she's taking that straight up, which after tax is $120 million. The cash out
That's
right away.
so
Which, by
nice.
the way, if you're watching this and you win the lottery, you want to take the cash out right away.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. No doubt about
they'll
it.
pay you over years. You'll get more money. But what if you die? What if this
That's
happens?
what they say. I mean, just as a, to any of our older listeners that might be retiring,
Yeah.
that's what they say about Social Security as well, because you can wait and get paid more if you wait, but
But
you
just
end up
cash
getting
out
paid
now?
less if you take it early. Yeah. So
So cash out right away.
so as soon as you get Social Security, you should take it.
Because who knows if they'll even be there anymore.
Exactly.
Government. My question for the table, and this I want to be specific about this. I don't want it to
Okay.
be bullshitty pie in the sky. What would you do if you won $120 million after taxes? Like, what would you do with that kind of money? Don't just say give to charity. What charity? What would you be doing? Blah, blah, blah. Tim, don't say give to charity. Tim immediately it looks like he just ate a lemon.
That is, yeah, no,
Not giving anything to charity, huh?
Tim, if I
Maybe
wait,
a
I think an even more fun thing is if we guessed what each other would do. Tim would probably buy Disneyland, just so we could have his pick of the
I wanna
Disney
go to
princess.
Not
33.
even remotely enough
Really
money.
bad.
Club 33.
Yeah.
That thing we talked about that's in Disneyland, right? Like the
That
special.
you can't get into
Yeah.
unless you're really special.
Or you just pay the yearly fee, which I think is what it is.
No.
It's a club.
Yeah, you have to pay yearly fee, wait a certain amount of years, and then you get to go.
Well, you just buy Disneyland with $128 million.
You nailed it.
Boom.
Knocked it out of the park. What would you really do with $120 million? Tim Geddes, the pure one.
That sounds like a good idea. 'Cause
You
then
can't buy Disneyland. They will not sell you Disneyland.
Let me give you-
That
let
is
me-
a pie in
let
the
me give you
sky
options.
bullshit.
I'll give you options here,
Tim
ready?
Land.
Let's three options,
I'll rename
Tim.
it.
1, buy an expensive car like an Aston Martin or Ferrari.
No.
2, buy a Disney princess, like a real life woman, and make her into a Disney princess. Or 3,
Wait, whoa, let's dial that back.
Or-
Buy a woman. Buy a person is what your second reference was.
$20 million.
Not
you
even
can't
like,
buy a human being.
not even get like a trophy wife.
Yeah, no. just
Buy a
woman.
human being.
My name is
Traffic
Django.
a person.
Or 3, throw a party and hang out with Macklemore.
I don't care about hanging out with Macklemore.
I think you
What?
want to hang
You
out
cut
with
Macklemore deep. He loves you.
No, I like him.
Oh,
But
Macklemore's
I'm not going to
listening to
pay to
this
hang
right
out
now.
with him.
He's going to hang out on this show one day.
I'm
I bet.
saying
He
create
will.
a set of circumstances by which you will be in the same room hanging out with Macklemore by his own accord. And you're not paying him. He's actually like, Tim, thanks for hanging out with this, inviting me to this cool Vegas party on the top of the stratosphere with a free buffet
See, I don't
Well,
know.
you got
I feel
those
like,
17 girls on you.
and I feel like I need.
that you bought from Saudi Arabia.
I Again, my girls weren't
I
bought.
can show
yeah,
Tim
I don't want to buy
the
girls.
world.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Tim can buy me with $128 million.
Yes. Keep going, Nick.
No.
This is one of those things where I wish I had more time to think about. I can't think of anything that I really want. As soon as you said, what would you want? I was like, okay, what do I want to buy? Ring light. I want to buy a ring light. It's
You
a
could buy
light that you put around the camera to
Yeah.
make us look good.
Every time.
'Cause we look like shit right now.
And Tim,
See,
Tim
I'll-
equates ring lights to being a hip hop gangster like hero.
A hip hop gangster like hero.
Yes, this is when Tim said, I want to. He always begs Nick for a ring light for this production as well.
Yes.
And I didn't understand what that really meant until Nick described it as in the rap videos. It's the ring you see on their sunglasses, and I was like, oh, I totally know that from every Puff
And
Daddy
want
Biggie
it
video.
so badly.
That I can't go with as much.
Yes.
Like I want it, fine. If it makes you happy, I don't care. I hope we make enough money on the t-shirts to buy
Yes,
you a ring light
we will
one
buy
day.
a ring light. It'll be good.
Then you can do videos about it. See, that's my thing. Like, if I won it, I wouldn't do anything super crazy. Like, you know what I mean? If I won $120 million, the first thing I would do is not tell anybody. You know how some people win and they don't tell anybody? I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd have you guys and you get the camera. We'd go and we'd fly back to Illinois on a surprise visit, not tell anybody, and then just start giving out. Like, go see my parents, right? Go see my mom. Just come in filming. We're doing something for whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then give her a check for $1 million or whatever, and then
That's
go,
awesome.
"You're a millionaire." That's how I tell her that. My dad, that my best friends, all these people, go tell them like,
That's how
You got
millionaires go
128
broke, by
guys.
the way. That's how Hammer went broke.
I know, but
That's
I'm
how
not,
Hammer went
I'm
broke.
not gonna buy a crazy
It is.
house or anything like that. I'm saying I'm giving you $1 million.
But then people come out of the woodworks and like, Greg, I want $1 million.
But I don't care about the people coming out of the woodwork. That's the whole thing. Like, Greg Miller isn't afraid to be cold-blooded
laugh
and
off.
tell no. Yeah,
All right.
you know what I mean? Like, I would gladly tell people no, and if they want to resent me for it, then
Who do you think would ask you for it, and then you'd say
I
no
would
to them?
100% ask you for $1 million. Just on the off chance you said yes, I'd take it.
I would ask Greg for $1 million and he'd give it to me.
Yeah.
He
Well,
wouldn't
you
give us
wouldn't
money.
have to ask for it. You'd get it 100%. And no, you guys want to get nothing.
Nothing.
But I mean, you'd be along for the ride.
We'll
Imagine that.
split
I mean,
$1 million.
imagine that. One of the things I would do, stick with me,
You'd be
is that
insufferable.
I would buy a block in San Francisco. Like
block?
A city block of houses, right? And bulldoze them. And then have a nice actual house. And not a mansion, don't get me wrong, but a house, right? That was like built to my specifications, had a yard, blah, 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 blah. Security system, obviously. But then we'd have like a studio for this kind of stuff, and we'd have there'd be different wings, and I'd have rooms, and people could come live in them and stuff.
So
I'd
I don't want $1
sublet
million, but can we build a racquetball court on this?
Really? That's what you want?
It's fun. It's a fun sport.
That's what I'll do. I won't give you $1 million, but I'll build you a racquetball court.
You know
on
what?
the
You'll be doing me a
compound.
favor in the long run because that's health, my friend. You'll be giving me the gift of health.
So there'd be that. I would then go back to the University of Missouri. I would offer them an obscene amount of money, but I would do it on the fact that
You
they
wanna
have to
build it.
take care of the Antlers. The Antlers have to get courtside seats for basketball games. They can't be thrown out. The Antlers have to play by rules. We'd establish rules. They can't, because the Antlers keep getting thrown out of games this year. I know none of you know what I'm talking about, but somebody out there does. This is a hardcore group of sports fans at the University of Missouri. They're not a officially sanctioned student organization because they drink a lot and yell bad things. But
Didn't you tell a story about this one time?
yeah,
on a
probably.
conversation with Colin?
Sure. I mean, the Antlers define me. Greg Miller isn't Greg Miller without the Antlers.
You talked to a cop really drunk one time
Yes.
because you were an antler.
Right. That's right. It was when I tripped on the railroad tie, said I was in charge of this house.
Yes.
And then the cop showed up and he's like, "Oh, you probably don't remember me because you're wasted, but I gave you this." And I go, "This list?" And he was so impressed that I kept it. Didn't care that there was 1,000,000 19-year-olds on my lawn drunk as shit. College.
Yeah.
But I would go there. That would be one of the things. Like, I will totally give you all this money, but this is the big but. You know what I mean? Like, you got to start being nice. You got to play ball with these kids. You know what I mean? Because it's like anything else. The people who are jerks at the school, they answer to money. They care about money. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand that. So,
Would you want your name on a building, though?
No, I don't care about that.
You don't want to make a library of the Greg James Miller.
Maybe a journalism thing. If they were going to do,
School of journalism.
if I could do like a branch that was just teaching online journalism, something like that,
Or
you know
like
what I mean?
YouTube. Like the,
Yeah,
the,
sure.
the Gregory James Miller School of YouTube.
Sure.
And other
That sounds
Google
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Learning Center for kids who can't read and stuff.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
not
the
bad.
Atlanta reference. Never mind. It was a poor reference.
Then I'd start putting. Then the investments start happening, right? Putting the money into CDs or bonds or whatever the hell it is. Like I go to an accountant. Like you're talking about how MC Hammer went broke, right?
He went broke.
I go to an accountant and I'm like, I want to make sure that never happens to me,
Right.
right? Like how much do I put away where the interest is accruing in a way that it's basically an annual salary of X number of, you know what I mean? Like, where I can still spend whatever I want, but.
But I think he went broke because he had all those things, but he didn't listen to those people.
No,
Because
but
he got
kept-
caught up in the
sure,
craziness of
sure.
being able to be the sugar daddy for his entire family and started
He
just
thought he
buying people
couldn't be
houses.
touched.
He can't,
He could not
can't
be
touch
touched.
this, Tim.
Could not be touched.
You know why you can't be touched? When if someone tries to touch you, you immediately just hammer over to the left a little bit. And then if they go over to the left, you just hammer over to the right a little bit.
See, the MC Hammer, yeah, like it's not the same thing here. I would be paying, like that would be it, you know.
I
I'd
think
be
that's
like,
what everyone says, though. Every celebrity's like, it's not going to happen to me. And then they're on the corner, like, asking for change.
what happened to Greg Miller?
See, I don't want to use my money to just some of the money to have a meeting with Jay-Z and ask him, what should I do with my money? Because he knows what to do with his money.
Oh, he's a god.
Yeah.
He's gonna say,
See
"Give it
what
all
he did
to
with
me."
Robinson Cano? That was crazy. He opened that sports agency. That's like he's a sports agent now.
Is he really?
Represents Robinson Cano.
Oh, that's right.
Who was like the great Yankee second baseman, and then he got him like a obscene like $200 million contract.
That's because
with the Mariners.
Oh,
if
wow.
you're negotiating opposite the table, Jay-Z,
The Hizza
what are you gonna say?
Ho. I don't know.
He's just gonna do that thing where that
I've
cool
used
thing where he
all
just
the
stares at
Jay-Z
you.
references I know.
Hova, where he just stares at you, smoking the cigar, and you're just like, I can't. This guy's like amazing. He's a great negotiator. I have to give him whatever he wants. I can't negotiate for
And
anything.
then he
by the
bangs
way.
Beyonce.
Jay-Z is the best though.
He's the best.
Jay-Z is the best.
He's got Beyonce and a kid, Bear Blue.
That's what they named him.
Bear Blue.
Is that
Blue,
what it?
Blue Ivy.
Blue Ivy,
Not
Northwest.
Not much. Not off the mark.
Which one's Northwest? That's Kanye's kid.
We win, then win again like deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
Then we win again like MJ do.
He does.
Three-peat, then we retreat to waters that blue. young Scrappy, that's what grown men do. Let's move.
I forgot, by the way, that
Bam. I love Colin sometimes.
Colin
This is
just
one of those
reminded me
times.
H to the
everybody-
O and the R&B king.
I gotta stop introducing Nick as the producer. He is Scrappy Doo.
I'm
Oh,
Scrappy
yes.
Doo now.
Remember that?
Yes.
We did that in like the first episode. I think I called him Scrappy Doo or something.
That's because sometimes, Greg, like 99% of the time, you're spot on.
Right.
There's that 1% where you just the train's going all nice. and
Scrappy
then it just
Doo makes a lot of
derails.
sense.
There's something about Scrappy Doo
Nick
that's
Scrappino
just, I
is what
like.
it started as,
Yeah.
and then when once you get Scrapped, you get Scrappy Doo going.
I got all sorts of things when I was a kid. I got Nikolai Volkov. Got that
That's
a
good.
lot.
That's
got
good.
Nickelodeon. Got
Yes,
that a lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Got Nick the Dick.
yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure.
Nick the Dick.
That one
Sounds like a
stuck.
good-
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
I got
You didn't
that.
make that one
No,
up.
I didn't make that up. That's actually from Bachelor Party, the Tom Hanks movie. Guy comes up, he goes, they call me Nick
Tawny Contain.
the Dick. And he put his penis in a hot dog bun and served it to women. at a
What was
strip
it?
club.
Foot long dong?
That's what you do?
Foot-long dong and hung like a bear. Because I forgot, you know why? Because I forgot to log into Foot-long dong, so I had to come up with another one, which is hung like a bear.
Foot long dong. That's good.
Really good.
Imagine that. It wasn't taken.
We were once chatting with somebody in my other friend's basement, and we were pretending to be a girl. There you go.
See?
That did happen, and we
See?
gave him
Everyone did
we
at
gave
some
him a
point.
number that was just made up, and he actually called it. I remember because he then was like, I thought that wouldn't work.
I remember one time I was in a chat room and I said something hella, and they're like, "That's a made up word." I'm like, "No," and I was really pissed about it. And then later they said something and said "cool beans." I'm like, "What?"
Cool beans.
It's a Boston thing.
Is that a Boston thing? Is that the Boston
beans
thing?
is everywhere.
Wicked is really the
Wicked's the Boston
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, makes you want to
Like the
just murder
musical?
a person.
Look to the western
Colin,
That's wicked
you look,
awesome.
You look wicked good tonight.
Oh God. Oh,
Colin, pour me some
dear.
of that wicked
Oh,
good bullet
dear.
right now.
Well, this reminds me, musicals.
Yeah.
Frozen just came out. It's the new Disney movie. New
It's not a musical.
Is
It's
it
a
a
cartoon.
musical?
It is a musical.
Cartoon.
It's got
Disney
musical
princess
elements, sure.
musical. I need to update my list. Elsa can get it. Everyone just needs to know that.
Elsa's
What-
the one from Frozen.
Yes.
What
Is Frozen
what
good?
animal is
That's
she?
good, Greg. That you're gonna kill me.
She is a
I have a
human.
liver for Christ's
Jesus
sake.
Christ.
Look at this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Earlier he's like, I can drink with the best of them.
No, I said I'm a lousy.
Scrappy
I'm
Doo.
terrible.
Did you or did you not call yourself Scrappy Doo today?
I never call
He
myself
did not.
Scrappy Doo. I've never called myself that. I've called
I
myself
almost
a
had
lot
him.
of things.
What was the question?
Is the princess in Frozen a
What would
girl?
you do with
She's a girl.
128
Well, I mean, is she an animal?
She's technically a queen, not a princess.
Is she an animal?
She's a person.
She's not like
queens
I've
have
only,
to be
I've
a
only
princess
seen
first.
there's a penguin in this one and
There's a snowman. There's no
Snowman.
penguin. Yeah.
Snowman, not a
What
penguin.
is Frozen about, Tim? Because I'll
So
never
Frozen,
watch it.
Frozen is about two sisters.
Sure.
One of the sisters has ice powers. They don't explain how she gets the powers.
Just
Not
powers.
important. Not important
It's
at all.
Disney.
She
Frozen's
injures-
illegitimate
This is
child.
a Disney film.
Yes. She
Okay.
injures the little sister when they were young, and the parents are like, "Oh my God, you need to hide your powers." And then the whole movie's about them having to be separated, and they were best friends. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a
Please
really
just
good
ruin it.
movie.
I don't
Is
care.
it poignant?
No.
Would you say it's a poignant
It's pretty
tale?
poignant. It's poignant. It's poignant and good.
Sometimes I
Anyway,
just
guys,
say
everyone
words.
can stop what they're doing, get off of this show,
Yeah,
and come
great.
back later.
Thanks for the retention.
New tab. Go to YouTube and type in "Let It Go" Frozen. It's the Outbreak musical
jam?
number. Musical number for the
All right.
show. It's Elsa singing, and there's a part 2/3 in where she just lets it go, changes into an ice princess, and it's the sexiest thing I've seen in 2015.
Does it go like this?
Fact.
Does she at any point go, I can show Tim the world?
No,
No?
no.
Well, then I'm not going to
But
watch
it's
it.
good. It's real good.
Any Scrappy Doo references in it?
No Scrappy Doo.
Why is it the sexiest thing she does?
She does this thing where she takes off her dress, turns into an ice dress.
Sure.
And then
Shatters
lets
it.
her hair down. And the song's called Let It Go. And she's just like, let it go. And just like letting it go. It's awesome. And then she does this strut that's so unnecessary. And I was like, thank you for that, Disney.
It's a
Thank you.
cartoon you're talking about.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
This
There's
is not live
children
action.
around you while you have this bulbous erection in your
Yeah.
pants.
You got to hide your erection with the giant popcorn that you have because
giant
your
popcorn.
Then the
erection
kid
so
next
That's
to
why
you
I got
reaches
it.
in there, and that's how you go to
that's
jail.
how you get a
Exactly.
sex offender
That's
license.
when they call you Scrappy
And then you
Doo.
get executed.
Then you're knocking on doors saying, "Hey, what's
His
up?"
third
I'm in a
offense-
new
his third
neighborhood."
trial.
Hey, there's been a couple Disney movies in the past couple of years.
I think I would buy my wife a house.
Okay.
That's
Here
the
in San
first thing I would
Francisco?
do. Yeah,
'Cause you-
in
okay.
San Francisco, in the city.
Would you bulldoze or you just get a nice
No,
house?
I'd just get one of the places in one of those towers that you like the places you used to live in.
Yeah, the towers.
And then I would just invest the rest of it. And then in my mind, I'd like to think that I would start a charitable, like a company for like a charity,
Sure.
and do something good with my money. That's what I think idealistically I would do. In reality, I'd probably just get into some sort of hardcore drug and just let that addiction ride me down into the
you
reef.
always talk.
You know what I mean, Colin?
Yeah, I hear you,
Just
buddy.
right into the ocean
I hear you.
floor.
I hear you. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Something like something designer, like really designer.
Meth.
See, Nick just really likes making jokes about
Cocaine.
About-
you can say the C word, the magic C word.
cocaine. It's always cocaine.
Never tried it, but it's the elusive. drug to
VidCon
me.
2014. You see Nick Scarpino come up and just blow cocaine in his face. He'll
Yeah,
have
because
to-
all the 15-year-olds that go to VidCon are just loaded with cocaine.
That's the other thing you're always talking about. It's 15-year-olds. It's cocaine and 15-year-olds. Always jokes about
your
these
psych
things.
profile is not looking good when you go to trial. When you're up against the death squad.
They're watching
well,
this.
is-
They're watching
is
this video.
permanent. This is forever. Colin, what would you do with $128 million?
120 million. I'd go to my 5 immediate family members and give them each $5 million.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's my mom, my dad, my sisters.
So you're
my brother.
automatically.
So just get down to 100 million.
Now you know they have to pay taxes on this money you give them, right?
Let's assume that
Boo-hoo.
let's assume that they don't. But if they do, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll gladly take $1 million right now and pay the taxes on it.
I would move back to Long Island and buy an estate there. So that's like $10 million. I'd live
So you would
somewhere.
stop working.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I would keep working for sure.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I would make it work so I would never have to work again. Are you kidding
I
me?
mean, well, I wouldn't have to work. That wouldn't be it. But I would
Oh my
still.
God,
What
I
else
would-
am I
I
gonna
would
do
be
all
I
day?
think
done.
I
I'd
would
be done.
pay the company a lot of money so I could be my boss's boss.
See, I thought about
Oh,
that
that'd
too.
be
I've
good.
thot about maybe buying IGN and when I win this $120 million. Yeah, 100%.
You could do that.
That would be really fun.
Yeah. Well, then my
I'd have a
concern
job
would
forever.
my concern would be that I would just screw it up.
You would run it into the
Yeah,
ground.
exactly. I wouldn't know what I'm doing.
So yeah,
You
I
would.
the $10 million, by the way, I'd wanted, so maybe it would be a $5 million house and property because I'd want to be able to pay off property taxes in perpetuity, so that I would have no expenses for the house. But I'd live back on Long Island, and then I would probably, you kind of beat me to the punch. I guess it's a good idea. I was thinking I would go to Northeastern and make a building, name it after myself. And then
What would be the Colin Moriarty
history.
School of History
Yeah.
and other
Hard
stuff?
knocks.
The Coco Momo.
Yeah, Coco Momo.
And then
Momo.
so that brings me down to what, $80 million. I would take probably $10 million and distribute it amongst 20 close friends.
Now, would I be one of those people? I know we're not that close.
Yeah,
friends.
you would. You would both be one of those people.
I would like
we
a
have, we have
Louise-
something now.
Okay.
Um,
Would you? No. What's funny is not one of us said we would infuse cash into this current business that we're running
Are you
together.
kidding me? I talked about building a house and a studio.
I got to be honest with you.
Okay, all right.
I'd divest. if
You
I
would-
won
you would be
120
done.
million. I'd
You're
be
done.
Sorry,
You'd be
guys.
done with
And
the
I wouldn't
studio.
even
Are you
entertain
kidding?
it.
Do you know how popular this YouTube channel would be if it's "What's up, Greg? Just won $120 million." New videos every day of just him fucking around with
Yeah.
$120 million.
Yeah,
See, that's great.
and then so that leaves me with what, $60 million. I would probably keep $10 million in liquid cash. I'd probably put
The rest of it in just investments.
and then I'd probably
Property.
invest the rest of it, and I'd take probably $10 million of it and give it to like the Salvation Army or something.
That's nice. That's a nice.
I wouldn't want to have like my own charity because you have to worry about that.
Right.
But I really believe
You put some money
I
into
really like the
a good
Salvation
charity.
Army. Like, I think they do really, really good work. Like
Yeah.
whenever I see like the person with the bell, or whatever, I always give them money and I give them like $5. It's
good of you.
like $1 because I just feel like they actually do. They're like a legit old school OG like charity that really cares about people. So I'd want to give them some money.
Good.
I don't know if you're aware of this because you're Mr. YouTube, but have you seen this Give Back Films on YouTube?
No.
I like them a lot. They do videos where they go and do nice things with money. Like there's one of them
that.
walking around giving $100 to random homeless people and stuff. Like that be similar to obviously us. But
That's
except
cool.
I'd have people fight for it.
No, exactly. Like,
No,
I think
no.
I think there was a group a long time
Give
ago that
back
did that, and they
Bum
got
fights?
sued for it. Yes. Do you
Oh,
remember bum
man.
fights?
I remember bum
yeah,
fights.
Bum Fights was so awesome.
Did you ever see the one where like he's like there's one guy he's just clearly out of his mind on some drug, just talking shit to the camera about how crazy it is in the streets, yada yada, and then he turns around and like picks up some kind of pole like in a parking lot and turns around and throws it through a lady's back window of her car and she speeds away. Like a normal person. This guy's like they're like filming him cutting an interview and he's just like, it's crazy in the streets. It's
crazy in the
Jesus.
Oh God.
So
Colin.
yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Colin,
That's good.
what do you got for us tonight?
I had a few
Lap it.
ideas, but I'm gonna
I'll lap it.
I think the idea I want to do is, what are some of your personal just favorite movies? And why I think about this is because, one of my favorite movies of all time, I think really one of the great movies of all
Can I
time.
guess? Can I tell?
Okay.
Can I guess?
Caddyshack.
Home Alone.
Caddyshack is one of my favorite movies.
Home
Okay.
Alone.
But the movie Home Alone's a great movie. That's not one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
The movie I'm thinking of, and I was talking to Cheryl, my girlfriend, about it last night because I think the movie is so phenomenally funny and so well done and like almost flawless. Is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
It's beautiful.
And
the original.
Yeah, the original, the 1971. And we were talking because I was doing the I was talking to her last night, and I kept like ending my sentences with etc. like he does at the end of this, etc. And I showed her the scene, and we were like, because she had seen it, but she hadn't seen it in a while, and I was watching it. I'm like, that was an extraordinary scene. Like Gene Wilder's fucking awesome in that movie, and like from top to bottom. And that movie is timely and funny still. I was showing other scenes because one of my favorite scenes is when Augustus Gloop is introduced, and they're in the restaurant in Germany. And they're talking to the dad, and they're like, Mr. Gloop, do you have anything to say? And he just eats the microphone. Right, and it's like a quick, like 2-second cut, and they go back to like, there's little things like that all over that movie where I was like, this is really one of the great movies that I've ever seen.
It truly is.
And so like, yeah, I absolutely love Caddyshack. Slapshot, one of the great movies of all time.
Someone
like laugh out loud funny. That movie's
Slapshot.
That movie's fucking brilliant.
He's a big hockey guy. You know this.
Which one's
Slapshot's about the minor league hockey team that's terrible, the Chiefs. With the brothers.
Who is
Paul Newman in it?
Paul Newman's in it.
Oh, I haven't seen this film.
Really? It's from the 70s.
I haven't seen it either. I mean, my friends all loved it, but I haven't seen it.
That's like a laugh at totally inappropriate movie. Like totally fucking inappropriate.
Okay.
But there are movies like that, like little kind of touchstones that I really love. And I was just thinking, if it came down to it, like I really love Caddyshack, I really love like a lot of Adam Sandler movies. I even think like movies like Grandma's Boy are like fucking absolutely insane.
I've never seen Grandma's Boy.
Very underrated, genius film.
It really is.
Especially if you've ever worked anywhere in the video game industry, it is spot on.
Yeah, I think you could kind of only appreciate it if you have worked in the gaming industry.
You especially appreciate it if you worked in the video game industry.
But that movie's really fun. But I was thinking specifically like, if I had to choose one movie that I feel like is timeless, if I feel like it's the Seinfeld of movie. It's the movie that's still funny, that still feels relevant. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory had a magic to it that you carry with you throughout the years. And let me explain what I mean about that. When I was younger, my sister-in-law at the time, my brother's wife, was like, hey, you got to come see this movie with me. And I'm like, what? I don't want to watch any movies. She goes, you got to come see this movie called Harry Potter with me and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I was like, that sounds stupid. It sounds like a kid movie. I go to see that. Halfway through the movie, I have this weird flashback. It wasn't a visual thing. It was a feeling.
Vomiting everywhere.
Just Vietnam, Viet Cong, just popping out around, the gopher holes. No, I had this feeling of I'm like, this is the feeling I felt when I was a kid and I watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's why Harry Potter to this day is so special to me. It had that magic. And I think part of the reason why it was so good was because Gene Wilder's character was not a kid's character. There was a lot of serious. There was a lot of adult undertones to what he was. Actually, if you look back on it, he was a little twisted and a little almost messed up in the way a lot of these kids, a lot of these situations the kids were put in was kind of messed up if you think about it. And he didn't treat it with kiddie gloves. There was a lot of different adult undertones to it. I think it was a phenomenal film. I'll put that on my top 10 of all time list.
Yeah, I think that Roald Dahl wrote the book and like
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's one of your.
He also wrote.
Well, yeah, and Matilda and all these great films that a lot of them were about children and about fucked up kids. I mean, that was kind of like his theme. And there is something, I was talking to Cheryl about it. I'm like, there is a serious tone to the movie because it's about how the movie's about how kids suck. I mean, that's like what the movie's about. And
you
how
got
there's this one good kid who's like
when you got this almighty God character who decides who gets to progress to the next level and who has to stay in hell. And all these kids get flushed through toilets and exploded and sent through space, departicleized.
It's so good.
That's not a word.
It's Timmy TV.
Yeah, Mike TV.
Tommy TV.
Mike TV.
Robbie TV.
Then there's the weird acid trip that happens halfway through it where we're going through this weird tunnel
what
and
is
all
it?
this stuff's happening.
The wheels are spinning. No one's rowing. It's like this terrifying.
It's just an extraordinary movie. I like how each of the 5 kids are kind of like a commentary on things that are wrong with children or right with children. Yeah. And I love that scene where even Grandpa Joe, who's like the stalwart good person at the end, breaks. And it's because he's like, he says like if Slugsworth wants an everlasting gobstopper, he's gonna get one. And that's when Charlie stops walking out, turns around, and puts it on his desk.
Yeah, great scene.
And it's kind of like a scene of redemption for children. For the children,
symbolically, everything's half.
That's why he says etc. because like half the contract is cut off. That's why he's like reading it, and then there's no other half of it. It's like I don't know. It's just a the Oompa Loompas are like totally fucked up.
Then
Like
their elevator shoots into space and they all die.
there's a sequel. Where there's a sequel called Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, which is like the Roald Dahl sequel. They never made a movie for it.
Yeah.
Where the
Okay.
elevator does go into space.
Oh, and
And-
they die?
No,
It's like Gravity? Is
It's
Gravity
like
the sequel?
his grandparents are there. It's like a whole different story. But when they made the sequel, or not the sequel, the remake in 2005, I was in college.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny
Classic.
Depp. I was like excited. I don't go to the movies, but I actually went like opening day to see that movie. And I was like so disappointed in that movie because I was like, Johnny Depp is playing Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp isn't playing like Johnny Depp plays the same fucking character in every movie. He's not deep as an actor, and from any of the movies I've seen him from fucking Edward Scissorhand all the way to Pirates of the Caribbean, it's the same fucking character.
I will say that I will disagree with you that I think in Edward Scissorhands, which I watched when I was a kid, did not get until I was a little bit later. That movie had an impact.
See,
And I think it was because of his portrayal of that innocence that society hasn't touched. That character was so powerful to me later in
See,
life.
I think here's what I think's happened to Johnny Depp is that he did Captain Jack and kind of got locked into that.
Yeah,
I think from
that's his
from
character
there
now.
on, he's been like his Lone Ranger guy just from the trailers because nobody obviously saw that movie.
Well, and I also think that the
stop
problem
it.
with the original. Did
touch me.
I interrupt you?
No, I have nothing really to say. Oh yeah, rub it down.
There it is. Ah, you got triceps on
You
here.
like that?
Yeah,
That's-
they're not bad.
I've been working my tries a
You
lot.
want
Oh, yeah.
push-ups?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Wait. No.
The Wonka character originally, you didn't know where he was coming from, right? You watch the original Wonka, and you're like, is he serious? Is he crazy? What's going on?
You don't even see him for 45 minutes.
You don't really know. He's not on the nose. And you come back and you watch the next Willy Wonka, and it's just what you see is what you get. And that's what I was most disappointed with, was there wasn't that depth to the character that really, really, sort of was put in the movie to explore all those themes, right? Explore all the craziness of and the kids weren't even just, it wasn't about even just the kids so much as it was about, this was society.
It's really about
right?
the
You
parents, too.
It was the parents, right? It was the gluttony, it was the craziness of wealth and what that did to kids, and you had this one kid who was like, it was a huge social commentary. But you didn't have any of that. We kind of threw all that aside in the newest one.
Yeah,
so that was disheartening.
It's that was an extraordinary disappointment for me. I don't know really what I expected, but I was like, Tim Burton's talented and Johnny Depp's talented, so we would have something would happen with this movie where it would be good. And it was just bad.
Ever since Batman, the Michael Keaton one, or Batman Returns, I guess it would
so
be.
good.
Tim Burton, for me, has been just a total turnoff. He just does movies that I don't like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not talented or anything, but he does that goth stuff that I'm just not a fan of.
Did you like the 89 Batman and Batman Returns?
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
even
don't
now,
like
I
them now?
enjoy
I like the
them.
Keaton Batman
I haven't
a lot.
gone back and watched them in a long time, but it's one of those things when I was a kid and was a Superman fan and really didn't understand Batman. I was like, oh, this is fine. This is fun. And then, Batman, he's like, wait, he's got guns on his car?
It's
Badass.
campy.
DC didn't stop this?
Isn't that campy? I mean,
I don't think guns on
I
a
thought
car
that the
are
whole
campy.
thing was like.
Adam West is campy.
Well, I thought it captured like the essence of. I think especially Joker in that was
Sure.
like captured the essence of the complete camp of like the original TV show.
I think
Batman.
so.
Which is like which was captured most when there was the Riddler and all that shit. I mean, that was like the epitome of trying to be like the '60s.
Those
now
are the
it's-
Schumacher days. We don't
those
talk
are
about
bad.
those days.
Yeah, and then we're
I thought Forever was all right. I didn't hate Forever.
See, I didn't like 89 that much. The
Super
Batman
dark.
89.
Well, you grew up. You
Again,
really
I was
were,
born
grew up
in
in the
89,
Schumacher
so
eras. Yeah.
Yeah, but like to me, Returns is awesome. Like today,
So dark.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's great. But
Catwoman's great in there.
89,
Shrek. Bruce Wayne.
Why are you dressed as Batman?
Because he is Batman, you idiots.
What was Batman?
Christopher Walken. Now there is a
there's
national
an
treasure.
I don't know about that.
What are you talking about?
No.
Walken? Deer Hunter? Catch Me If You Can?
Catch.
Hell of a movie.
Oh, so good.
So like I don't know. I'll just leave it like this with you guys for you guys. Like there are movies I really love, right?
Yeah.
Like Red Dawn, but I wouldn't say like Red Dawn's a great movie. It's just a movie I love.
Yeah.
Back to School. Think that movie's fucking
Rodney
phen-
Dangerfield
absolutely.
is
Anything
best.
anything that Rodney Dangerfield has ever touched
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
And Caddyshack's one of my favorite movies for sure. But man, it's just my mind just always swings back.
There was some magic about that
Charlie
because
and the
it
Chocolate
just.
Factory.
Yeah.
It's a good. No, it's a great pick.
Yeah.
I've never heard Colin talk about it.
Yeah, it's just
I think it's an opinion he made up today.
no, it's.
I'm
I mean, I know that movie left and right. I remember my brother-in-law still talks about this. He's been in my family for a very long time. When I was back on Long Island, when I was in high school, he came into my room and I was like on the computer.
How stoned were you?
Oh, I was really. I was like 14.
How drunk were you?
I was really drunk.
Were you up on the PCPs, the
yeah,
meth?
Yeah, I was on liquid
Greg
codeine.
Miller.
And
I know how he was at 14.
I wasn't out of control 14. And he walked into my room and I was just on the computer typing and I just looked up and I was like typing a paper or whatever and I was like, I'm now telling the computer exactly what it can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate, which is a line that the guy has from the movie, like when the little cuts that they do, like the little funny, you know what I'm talking about. There's like little funny scenes that are totally non sequiturs in the movie, which are awesome. And he thought that was the funniest thing ever. And it still brings that up to this day that was like one of the funniest things I ever did. And
Colin, you're a funny guy.
At this point,
You
I can never,
peaked when you were 14.
I can never recapture it.
Let me ask you this question.
29 years old now.
When you were a kid,
Yeah.
did you wish you could go to the chocolate factory?
I did. I don't like chocolate. I don't eat chocolate.
I don't either.
But
I'm not a
I
huge
did.
chocolate fan.
I did because I wanted to meet Gene Wilder's character.
There's a
because
man,
yeah, well, because there's just there's something fucking freaky about. There's just something so funny about it. You know, like.
Like, why did they have a fan that could like destroy people?
I just love
if
how
you
he
were in
makes-
that room.
I just love how he
It's
makes
terrifying.
he makes shit up, like when he's talking about where the Oompa Loompas come from, and
Yeah.
like TV's mom's like, I am a teacher of geography, sir, and he just like so you know all about it then, like he just is like super quick, like that's a guy like I wanted to meet and talk to because he walks out and the factory, it's cold, everyone's waiting, he's like looks like he's a decrepit old man.
He trips. Here's
Yeah,
the trip. The pratfall.
Yeah.
Pops up. Everyone, and then he's just. And that's so perfectly exemplary of his character.
Yeah,
right? It's so great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like we talked about on the previous episode. I'm not like super into movies. I want to know more about movies. I
Yet you
want to
have
understand
excellent
them.
taste when it comes to movies.
This
I
is
will
crazy.
say.
This is like I've never thought of Willy Wonka in this way. Excellent. Never really realized how excellent it was. Till
It's
right now.
phenomenal. Go back and watch it now, especially when you're an adult, and you'll see if it will. I'd be willing to bet it still evokes that emotion.
Yeah.
The power of that film is that at any age you can watch it and it will instantly snap you back to where you were when you were a kid. That magic of like anything's possible in the world. I can go to this place. This is like anything's possible. It was phenomenal. Same thing that I had when I watched the Harry Potter films. I was like, I want to play Quidditch. I want to go to Hogwarts. I want to do all these things. That's, it's sad to say now as a 34-year-old man.
No, but that's probably how parents feel when they bring their kids to the movie. Like, it's funny because like I almost, it's a very much darker movie with the books really, but like I almost felt that sense of wonder with the Hunger Games just when I was reading the books because I saw the movie and
Did you like the Hunger Games?
I liked the first book and then the
Yeah.
second book is the first book
It's
and
the
so
exact same
and
thing.
so I never read the third one because I was so mad. Did you guys read the Hunger Games?
No,
book?
but I'm familiar with how the story unfolds.
It was. Do you care if I?
No.
So
It's been told
I haven't.
to me.
You know what? I haven't seen the second
it's
film yet. I
absolutely
kinda wanna watch it.
infuriating. Like I was.
She
furious.
goes back to the Hunger Games,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
like
they-
it's
they
the fucking
recall
Hunger
them.
Games again. I was so furious when this happened because I really liked the first book. I ripped through it. I downloaded it on my iPad.
Yeah.
I read it like at night because it's like a young adult book. It's not.
Couldn't get through it.
And I loved it. I thought it was very compelling and very visual.
Too many big words for Scrappy Doo.
And
No, it was written in the first person perspective. I didn't
Yeah.
like that about it.
I
and
tied my shoe.
I was in a tree.
when I was like, I gotta read Catching Fire. This is awesome. This is a great
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
And I started reading. I got like 23 pages in. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like so mad. They're like, you're going back to the Hunger Games. I'm like, fuck. That's so like that's so fucking vapid and fucking lame.
It's cheap. Is
You know?
what it is. Yeah.
I'm like, there's a whole governmental story back here. There's a whole revolution brewing. Like, why
Well, but
don't you take advantage of that?
I got to assume they hit that in the third book.
I
haven't read
assume.
the
I
third
assume
book.
that. I assume. My
it's gotta
assumption.
come to a head.
I
right?
never read it. Don't know anything about it. My assumption is Katniss fights President Snow's army or whatever, leads an army of rebels or whatever, and takes over the government. I mean,
Right.
that's what I assume that. But like, they could have gotten there quicker. Instead, to make it into a fucking arbitrary trilogy instead of just 2 books or having a fucking good middle book like, say, The Two Towers. They made this. They just took the first book and just were like, now it's the second book.
I think when you got to get them back to the Hunger Games. You got to get them back. You got to go back.
Did you guys read or watch Battle Royale?
I've watched it.
I have
watched
it on my Netflix queue. Is it good?
I love it.
I was drunk with somebody.
It is the Hunger Games
Yeah, it's the Hunger
Is
Games,
it Hunger
but
Games?
just
with Japanese
less
kids.
like for teenage girls.
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
more
like
blood,
teenage
there's more-
boys.
Yeah, it's
there's
brutal,
one.
right?
Yeah.
It's but she claims, and I believe it. Like I actually totally believe it. She's like, I had no idea this even existed. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
and
it's one of those things where like it's so similar, but at the same time, it's different enough, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like it's not like the kids who are on the island in Battle Royale, right? They're there because they're bad kids and all this stuff. It's not like you're fighting for tribute and all that crap. Like
Yeah,
I
it's-
think
yeah,
the
it's-
setting of putting children against themselves in a blood contest isn't.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
then
Lord of the
you
Flies,
know-
and the lottery is like another old story that was like about people.
Like
it's
Logan's
this-
Run, right? That had to do with the lottery, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
No. The lottery was. I don't know. I don't think so. The lottery was like the old short story about the town that takes one of his own people and kills that person every year.
I think that was. Oh god, I'm gonna get crucified for this, but I think that was a similar concept to Logan's Run, or maybe it was an episode of Sliders. I can't remember.
Oh, Sliders, yes.
Sorry about that.
Jerry O'Connell. Sliders. Remember that intro? Sliders.
I don't think that's how
Rembrandt. They had Rembrandt.
Break.
Rembrandt Brown.
It's not that huge of a leap in logic. I mean, you've had movies like Death Race or things like that where you have criminals that have to race, to the death. Whoever wins, whatever, you have to kill.
Death Race.
Death Race. Jason Statham.
A second ago, I thought you said Death Rays, and I was like, I don't know what this is.
We've
but
had
no,
Death Rays
you're talking
before.
about Death Race,
Death Race.
the Twisted Metal ripoff movie.
It was a good movie, actually.
Really?
Yeah, you should go
That's
back and watch it.
exciting.
It's actually
I should
pretty
watch
good.
it.
Statham's one of Statham's best.
Man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Colin, I think for me, the movies I remember best when I was a kid were the Hughes movies, the John Hughes movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the ones that like it almost validated my existence growing up in suburbs. Because I was like, there are other people like me, other people who have problems that really aren't that big.
I mean, so specifically, when I was in college, my quest, Netflix was kind of fresh and new, and I would get every 80s movie I can possibly get my hands on. And I would even go to the local Blockbuster and get like random 80s movies, like 3 O'Clock High and like fucking random teen 80s movies. The Breakfast Club was obviously the one that resonated with me the most because
so good.
That movie was made in 1985, so I was only 2. I was born in 1984, so maybe even 1 when it came out. It made me feel nostalgic for a time I never experienced.
Yeah.
It was the same way that, in a sense, in a different way, that Happy Days felt nostalgic for you, or even when you watch I Love Lucy, it feels innocent. Like, it makes you feel like you belong there, almost like you want to be there. And like watching that movie in that one day in those kids' lives was extraordinary. That's like that's really an extraordinary movie.
It really is.
And obviously 16 Candles and all that stuff's great too. But
yeah, 16 Candles is good. It's
Ducky.
great. It's not on the level of Breakfast Club.
No, I
that
mean,
was his definitive. That was definitive right there.
it's just an absolutely The one thing that always bugged me about it was like they were just smoking weed in the library, and like no one knew.
There was only like there was
The
just the
principal
principal
was
and the
away,
janitor.
man.
That
The
was it.
principal's
That's all
far
there
away.
was.
I know, but like like it's like that always bothered me a little bit. But I did love, especially, what was the tough guy's name? I can't remember.
Bender.
Right? Was that his name?
No.
What's the tough guy? Judd Nelson?
Judd Nelson's
Yeah,
character.
but Bender. It was
Benson
Bender.
Bender?
Yep.
Like I remember, like there was a special emotion with his character. You've seen The Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, love it.
There's a special emotion with his character in the way he relates to the principal.
Yeah.
That gives you insight into his life specifically that you don't get with the other characters. Really, you get little glimpses of like the rich girl or like the jock.
But he was definitely the best.
But
like the most well-rounded.
yeah,
deepest character.
because like there was an abusive slant to the way he was treated by everyone that was very telling and very vivid and very well illustrated. That made you hate him at first and actually kind of love him at the end. That's why they show him at the end.
You really start to identify with that.
The scene.
He's the final shot of the film, right? He puts his hand up, pumps it like.
and then it's just
The distrust of authority. He's got there's a lot of subtext in his character that they don't really explore too much. You just get it, and I think that was the power of the John Hughes film was you just got a lot of the characters. They didn't have to spell it out for you like they do these days. Which I'm sure there's a lot of good films being made these days too. Because I still see them.
What if
Wolf of Wall Street better be awesome.
I
want
wanna see that film.
It reminds me, it looks like Boiler
crazy.
Room.
BTW, we know the Wolf of Wall Street is already out by the time this posts, but it wasn't when we recorded.
BTW Boiler Room is an amazing film.
I love Boiler Room.
Only closed to get coffee.
That's
Specifically, it takes
not
place.
Boiler Room.
You like that?
Glenn Ross, but thank you about that.
Same thing.
Glengarry Glen Ross is
That is a phenomenal film. If you haven't seen that, immediately stop watching this and go watch that.
But Boiler Room takes place on Long Island, which is specifically why I like it.
That's the
Giovanni
it's got
Ribisi,
the,
Vin Diesel. Who else was in
Ben
Boiler
Affleck.
Room? Ben Affleck. that's
Ben Affleck's speech in that movie. I think I brought up that video not too long ago to show it to someone. That speech when he gives
These
like
are the keys, right?
and he like throws his
keys to
key,
my car.
he like throws them on the table. He like kicks people out. He's like, who took the Section 8 test or whatever it was, and people were saying like, get the hell out of here.
It was a cheap ripoff of Glengarry Glen.
Oh yeah,
Ross,
for
right?
Sure.
Coffee,
But didn't
is
they-
for closers. Put that coffee down.
But don't they reference that and they reference that movie specifically and the iconic one they just made a sequel for,
Wall Street. Yeah, phenomenal
is good.
movie. That's such a good speech.
Yeah. Michael Douglas, another national treasure. Him and
Badass.
Christopher Walken.
Badass.
We need to clone right away.
Bronze them. Just put them in carbonite.
Right.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
No, that's it. Okay.
Is that it?
I don't know. I think so.
I don't
It's
know.
good
How
enough.
long?
The movie was a good pick. Yeah, Willy Wonka.
Did you give any movies?
No.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, of course.
Oh, that's good.
I think the thing
Oh,
that
yeah, we
date
didn't
the
have
things
that.
that date Ghostbusters, of course, is the music.
No.
You listen to Ghostbusters. It's
No,
very, very
dude.
80s.
Nothing. Yes, it dates Ghostbusters. That's the thing, I've never been. I have never identified. What? That's the Seinfeld theme.
Ooh, I see the danger signs sneaking up from behind.
I don't. This does not sound like a Ghostbusters
Tru-
song.
I assure you, it's a Ghostbusters
Is
song.
this the scene where he's like the dead will rise from the grave and they're driving in the ambulance? Across
There
the
is a
bridge?
musical interlude there that's very similar to what I'm singing. I'm singing.
Which one are you
This is
singing?
when the Ghostbusters are rolling up in Ecto 1 to Dana Barrett's building. And
Oh,
everybody- and
you mean
everybody's praying outside.
pound?
What I just did. You're too. You're way too fast. You're way too fast.
No, and the National Guards everywhere.
Bow,
Bow,
Yeah, awesome.
We're
And
gonna
then- and then
get
the
this
thing,
video.
like,
We're gonna get a
everything goes-
copyright strike.
oh, yeah,
This
everything's
sounds
so
too real.
good.
This sounds too
Everything
close.
goes crazy and they sing it to the ground and then
Yeah.
it stops. Like we're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they go.
It doesn't speed up like that.
I'll play it
It's
right
not like the
now.
Mario song that gets in the last minute gets crazy. Kim?
Tim. Movies from the 80s.
Quick ones that come to mind.
Yeah, the 80s was a great time for film.
I don't identify with any other eras other than the 80s.
See, I identify with the Kevin Smith movies.
Those are 90s. I mean,
I know that's
80s on.
I know that's what I'm saying.
80s on. But like Colin was saying, I Love Lucy, 70s. I don't. The 70s to me, nothing.
Oh,
I think
I
of the
see what you're
70s. I think
saying.
of
I
the
see what you're
60s. People love the Beatles.
Well, I Love Lucy, like, I think the 50, like, I Love Lucy's the 50s, and I feel like that's an easy time
Sure.
to relate to because it is
Yeah.
fucking Americana.
Doesn't-
The 50s is Americana, post-war
Yeah.
Americana.
Yeah.
Eisenhower, apple pie,
Superman.
fucking patriotism,
Superman.
like all like yeah, well, like yeah,
George
like the
Reeves.
classic,
George
the,
Reeves, The
the
Adventures of
classic, the classic superheroes,
Yeah.
sci-fi, Ray Bradbury, The Twilight Zone.
I'm
like,
totally
that's,
with you. I
that's
feel when
easy.
I grew up, watching reruns of I Love Lucy, right? Because they'd be on in the day at my
That movie's
grandmother's
fucking-
house.
I mean, that show's hilarious.
Yeah, the show's great and stood up, and it was even as a kid you got it and you liked it and you connected with those characters. And what you're talking about, this nostalgia for something we never had. A great example, I feel, of the Wonder Years, right? I didn't live through the Wonder Years timeline at all, but when I watched that, you totally felt for it. And like that taught you things too. So that when you got, I remember getting to school when you talk about Vietnam, you kind of knew about Vietnam,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
'Cause
Winnie
the
Cooper's
Wonder
brother
Years.
died in the pilot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you got those connections. You kind of understood a little bit where they were coming from.
Yeah, and the Wonder Years was what I love about the Wonder Years. My girlfriend and I were watching it recently because it's on Netflix, and I fucking adore that.
But it's all screwed up, right? Because they know the songs.
Yeah, it's like a fucking broke ass version. Ramon.
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 Navarre.
He called me once like with the broke ass version of the song they have on there, which is like total bootleg version of the song.
What is the broke ass version? I don't understand what's
The
happening.
problem is the
The-
Wonder
the ver-
Years. They made the Wonder Years. Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Without ever thinking anything about the future of what it was going to be.
And
so
they
they
didn't get
had
the licenses for
they
the
had the
music?
rights to the songs to air them and to rerun them, but not to put them on like a
Not for
digital
syndication.
platform. Or
That's
anything.
Yeah,
nice.
like well, because how would they know? But what I loved about that show, like you said, the pilot when Winnie Cooper's brother died, or he doesn't die, but they find out he died in Vietnam, fucking punches you like right in the face. Like that was the beauty of that show, is that there was a feel good episode about Kevin and Winnie and all this stuff, and then there's a fucking serious episode,
Right,
Like
right,
and
right,
they
right, right.
and it goes like one after the other, and the two serious episodes that I remember, and I don't know if you guys remember these, is one where Wayne, who is his older brother, and Kevin
Does heroin.
have like a tender moment, like where they're like they fucking hate each other, but they like have a moment where they're at the park and they're like talking to each other, and they like walk away with their arms around each other. Like,
Yeah.
God, you remember the show so vividly.
It's because these are like touchstone moments.
So that moment really stuck out. But the other one is like when they bring Kevin's dad to a restaurant for his birthday, and like they all fight over like because of the daughter bringing her boyfriend, who's
Right.
played by dude from Friends.
oh,
Matt
Joey.
LeBlanc,
Yeah.
No.
Chandler Bing.
Ross?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember
David
that.
Yeah.
Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer is the boyfriend,
go.
like the hippie boyfriend, who's in like a bunch of
Wow,
episodes,
I
and
don't
like they
remember that.
all fight and like ruin his birthday, and it's like a fucking dire ass episode, and ends on like a really serious, just fucking dark note.
What's the
Like,
note?
what?
The
Just
dad
like that they
Superman.
like that like the dad like they hate their dad,
Right.
like the dad's a dickhead, And obviously the 4th of July, the finale, like when you find out the dad died. And all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of
Wayne
shit,
took
it's
over
like
the furniture
it's like
business, all that stuff. Yeah.
That show is like so emotionally resonant.
The moments that stand out for me, right, I remember so vividly are when the daughter like leaves and like moves away, right? She leaves the show or whatever, but she moves to like Alaska or something with David Schwimmer, I guess. I just don't remember him yet because I didn't know at the time he would be in Friends or whatever, right? The Winnie Cooper death, the time like the mom loses the tax receipts or whatever, remember that? And like then they have to like piece it all back together, and it's like they're at each other's throats, but like the end is this like really nice scene of them in the bedroom like laughing as they're trying to figure it all out, and you're like, oh, things can overcome, you know what I mean? Like but yeah, like the one I always think about is you remember Wayne's friend Wirt?
Yeah.
Who like him and Wayne went to enlist for Vietnam together, and then Wayne and like the dad was freaking out about it obviously, and he tries to stop Wayne, but Wayne's like already heartbroken because he didn't get in, like he's flat-footed or something stupid, like they wouldn't take him. So Wirt goes to Vietnam by himself, and then seasons later, maybe one season I forget, comes back and he's totally fucked up. He comes back and like Wayne's trying to get back to being friends with him and get back to what it was, but it's totally different because like Wirt's been off killing people and living in the jungle or whatever, and so like they go to a football game and Wirt gets spit on, and like he eventually goes to go get sodas and stuff, and Wayne finds him out on a park bench in his underwear, all his clothes folded up next to him, and it's just, Wirt has this like monologue about how like it just doesn't feel like him anymore, right? Like he's putting on like an old skin, but it's not him, and so Wayne takes off his clothes and sits next to him too, and you're like, oh,
That's awesome.
I hate Wayne
Did you
so
watch
much.
the show?
Oh yeah. All
Yeah.
the time.
So I just feel like. Yeah, I feel like that's a really special show. You know? I feel like that there are like underrated shows. I feel like there are shows that are really funny. I think Roseanne's like a really underrated show, for instance.
Yeah.
But I think that like Roseanne's funny and timely and also serious. And I like how it's about like a white trash family. Like, it's like
Right.
not about. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Rosanna
yeah.
was so good.
Roseanne's like I watched the entire series on
Wow.
Netflix.
I don't think I can
And,
handle
How
that.
does it end?
Oh, you don't remember this?
It ends where it
Doesn't
like
Dan die?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
well.
So you know
Sorry,
how it ends.
did I spoil it for
Yeah,
everyone?
No, I wanted to build you up to it if you didn't know.
No,
well,
Dan
so-
dies,
but the- but
right?
the-
But they did it where they won the lottery as a family. They just did the thing we did, and so they had a whole season of them being millionaires and like living their dreams and yada yada yada.
Right.
And then in the finale, it turns out that it was a fictional novel Roseanne was
Yeah,
writing.
Roseanne was writing like a novel in the attic, and like when they won the lottery in the show, Dan died. And
In
so
real
it was
life.
like, and it was like, so how she was like,
There was like two timelines all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like the real world of them struggling on without Dan. And
I
then
just
the
remember
timeline.
that for me the show ended when they traded out. the daughter.
Becky's, and
Yeah.
then Becky came back.
Yeah, the real Becky came back.
And
that
then
was awesome.
and then which one was the Becky that was on Scrubs?
the middle,
That was
like the
Becky too.
replacement.
That was the
Becky.
replacement Becky.
Did you ever see the episode where she guest starred?
No.
They brought back real Becky, and then real Becky. It was Halloween, and real Becky answered the door, and it was Becky number 2 with a kid, and the kid trick or treat.
That is hilarious.
And Becky goes goes, man, this is a really nice house. I'd love to live here. And Becky number 1's like, too bad, and slams the door and like walks on.
Oh
like,
my
the-
god!
the
I
audience
don't remember
erupts and
that.
Stuff. It was
I
great.
just remember that David was a loser.
Oh yeah.
That was the
David
other
was
daughters.
awesome. He's a huge fucking star now.
Now
Yeah, I know,
he's
right?
on
Big
the
Bang
Big
Theory,
Bang Theory.
where he
He's the
brought
biggest
Sarah Gellar. Is that her name?
Oh, is she on the show now?
Darlene from the
Oh,
show
yeah, yeah,
is now was on the show. I'm not sure if she still is.
Good for him, man.
She was a
Pay
guest
it
star for
forward,
sure.
You know.
Yeah, he's a huge star now. I mean, I love that character actually because he was like a total.
He drew comics? Yeah,
weirdo,
he totally-
like art school kind of dude. Like,
God, that show
I love
just-
Darlene's character. So like, I actually like kind of like I thought Darlene's character was awesome. Well, it's Roseanne, like because Roseanne is that show and Darlene
Yeah.
is fucking Roseanne. You know, she's not fucking Roseanne, but she
is Roseanne.
She is Roseanne.
Yeah.
and obviously Dan's character. Like, I just love the working class kind of.
Open
remember-
a
do you remember the
loose meat
episode where-
sandwich
do you remember the
shop.
episode
Get out
where-
of here.
Where Dan was at a bar and someone kept making fun of Roseanne, and Dan's like, and the whole point of the episode was that no one like Roseanne was like, Dan, you can't fight people, physically fight people, and then it got to one too many insults, and then Roseanne goes, Dan, go ahead. And he turns around and he knocks the guy out. And then the next scene is him icing his hand, and they're just talking about like the ramifications of what just happened. I learned a lot from that episode.
That's awesome.
I just love the episode because it was unabashedly what it was. You know?
They were so
Yeah.
good.
Because it came from an era in the 80s, especially when it was about affluence. That was what shows were about. Affluence. Everyone was rich. Everyone
Fresh
had nice
Prince
houses.
of Bel-Air and
Yeah,
things like
lot
that.
of
That was
beautiful
later, but
houses.
yeah.
Family ties. Like all this stuff was all about. You know,
Oh, growing pains, family ties, all those things were like, oh, everyone's like, this
no
house
worries.
is amazing.
Cosby show, like
Two,
A
yeah, you had a
doctor
lawyer
and
and
a
a lawyer.
lawyer.
Yeah.
like
Doctor
so
and a
it
lawyer.
was like
Yeah.
But
She was a lawyer.
this show
He was a
came.
doctor. he had his own practice somewhere. I can't remember. I think it was in the house, right?
It was in the house. Yeah.
Didn't he see people in the house?
You just said lawyer and a lawyer is what I'm saying.
Oh, Lauren. Well, jungle
I'm just
juice.
letting you know why I stopped you.
It's the adult juice.
And like
Cosby Show's another show that like.
Yeah, Cosby Show is awesome.
God, I know inside and out.
Colin, I know we're getting long in the tooth here. We're getting long on time. But question for you: is Seinfeld the I Love Lucy of that generation?
Seinfeld is better than I Love Lucy. It's the best show of all time. Yeah.
100%.
You say that, you actually mean that too. You're not just screwing around with the Bane
I
reference.
will be flabbergasted if there's anything ever even in the same realm.
So the
as
other
Seinfeld.
day I was building this set. I was like putting everything together, right? Stopped. You guys were eating dinner together. You before football. I think you were watching a little bit of Seinfeld. Still, an insanely entertaining show. Years later.
Yeah.
Years later.
It's not even the time that
Still
matters.
good.
It's that I know everything that's going to happen in it. Everything.
I
everything
still
laugh.
that's
don't
going
remember
to say.
any of that
laugh.
stuff, and
And-
I watch it. It's still funny.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know the punchline's coming up. I know George is going to say something funny, or Kramer's going to come in, and everyone's going to and I still laugh out loud every time. Like
Yeah.
it's the same way I feel. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm is close, but because
Curb is
George
good.
is the best character on Seinfeld, and Curb Your Enthusiasm is George.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The Larry David character.
Larry David's character is George. Like that. You know, George is based on Larry David. So it's that's what they based the character on. So it's awesome to have like some more of that character in spirit.
I think I'm just broken. I think
You're
I was
broken.
too young for Seinfeld.
You were. You
so
were.
I didn't get it. I remember when it was on, I was upset that it
You
was
were
a
like,
cartoon.
when were you? What year were you born?
89.
89,
That's
yeah.
the
So
year
you were only
Seinfeld
like
started.
Yeah, you were only like 6 or 7. I mean, Seinfeld, the first year was not good.
Yeah. So I was
Sure.
too young for it. But
I
even
think it
now,
was
when
It
I
good.
took
see
a
it,
while to get.
I don't
hit
get
its
it.
stride.
like I don't laugh when I watch it now. Like
It's
and
almost
maybe
a-
I'm doing it wrong. I don't
You're
know.
doing it wrong.
You're
But
doing it wrong. Seinfeld's almost a joke in that it's a show that's almost making fun of itself and how
It's 100%
ridiculous
yeah,
it
no,
is.
I get that. It's just
Like every
okay.
time Jerry Seinfeld, who by the way is widely touted as the worst character on that show, I think we can all agree. Out of the 4 main characters,
Well, it's 'cause
Seinfeld was
He is,
the
but it's all
weak link.
relative.
I
It's
mean, with all
relative.
due respect to him, he's not a professional actor. He was a comedian
he was
who
a-
given a show.
Sure.
That's why you can see him laughing in scenes.
He
and
laughs
breaking.
every scene
Yeah, and
because
we're-
he knows
we're
how
all along for the
ridiculously
ride.
silly that show is, right?
The best part about the show is that so at first you can see like the Chinese restaurant's a really good example. That's like
Yeah.
one of the first episodes of the show, and this was
That's
an
the one where
episode-
they're in the waiting room of the lobby of the Chinese
yeah, and
restaurant.
like and
the
they
whole
can't-
episode.
the whole episode, and like you can see that this was the formula that they wanted to capture.
Yeah.
Like, this thing of like this is what you do. This
Everyday
happens
life.
to you.
Everyday life.
You know, by the time you got to like the end of the show,
Yeah.
it was outrageous.
Outrageous.
It was so those last seasons are fucking. Like my favorite episode is when Kramer has an intern. That's like the best
so
episode.
good.
Cray-America.
What about
Like-
the episode where he has to steal the pumpernickel?
Oh, the rye.
The rye. That's what it is.
And they have the fishing pole.
Yeah. Everything with a condo association.
It's so
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah, like George,
The
like
parking space
Jack
in New York.
Rumpus. Jerry's parents, George's parents are awesome.
Oh my god,
God,
yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
When they interact with each other a couple times, it's like they hate
Elaine's
each other.
boss is amazing.
Yeah, Peterman.
Peterman.
Kruger.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a real
Putty.
try.
Oh, you got to go back and watch the Putty episodes at least.
Okay.
Putty is
Did you
amazing.
bring anything to read? No.
Yeah.
You look at the back of the
gonna
seat
look
for
at the back
5
of the
hours?
seat?
Yeah.
We're over. We're done. I can't.
It's
take
so it's just like there's no. The funny thing is like there's no bad episode. Like there's
There really
there's
isn't.
no even mediocre episode. They're all. I think some are funnier than others, but
I-
they're except for the ending. The last episode's bad.
I know we're
I
going
was fine
long.
with it.
We can save that. We have to save the last episode for another podcast
Okay.
because I feel like we could do an
Last
hour on just
episode.
the horror that is the last.
All right,
episode of
stop
the
it. We'll
show.
do it next. That'll be my topic next week.
Okay.
We'll do it then.
Fantastic.
Because I will defend that episode.
You
Me
will.
too, Greg.
Oh,
You got to go watch the last episode.
I will.
It'll make no sense to you.
Just
Don't watch
the
it.
last one.
it
Stop. Stay for next week.
was an abomination.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for walking and or listening. That's right. If you go to Bandcamp, you can find us there. GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. Every Friday, we post the new episode for $1 as a high-quality MP3. Then on Monday, the free episode goes up on YouTube. You know it is GameOverGreggy.com. Then go buy a t-shirt at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. And one day, we'll just give everything away. We won't be pimping it all the
When we
time.
win that money from that lottery.
When we win the
Yeah,
lottery,
yeah,
the
sure.
District Line store will be free for an hour of my
That'd be
choosing.
It'll be midnight to 1 a.m.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and then join us every day for a nerdy conversation here on GameOverGreggy.com.
For you.
The fire. What was the line?